passing itself is fairly uneventful. The ship sails on steady, the crew keeps a good look, and any minor gusts that the ship gets from the passing winds, they're able to easily manage and maneuver. As the evening starts to grow further along, the sun now kind of setting in the far distance into the mists far below, the crew will call out as you guys see here a large kind of cloud that you guys are heading towards and entering, the ship starting to kind of break in. The half-elven captain standing at the realms with kind of a burgundy, kind of reddish, dark hair, stands there and calls out, "Just so you all know, we're entering the clouds here. This is now officially the Baron's domain. Be on the lookout, be careful. Should be fine. I think they're expecting us." And you will enter the clouds, and you feel this kind of cool, damp air flow over you. The moisture from being within the clouds, being in this large patch of mist. The ship sliding in. The visibility here is very low. Only able to see what you would assume is a few feet, though it's hard to tell without light sources or depths or other objects to spot. As you move forward, growing as best as you can imagine, closer and closer to some point in the distance of your destination. None of you have been to this land, so none of you really know how far out this cloud layer goes. The captain seems to be sure and steady moving forward. What's everyone's passive perceptions? Unless you feel you're overly on edge and would like to make a roll itself.
Yeah, I think Peo would.
I'm only at 13, and when I hear that we're entering into the border area, whilst inquisitive and taking note of the situation around me, I'm not on edge. Just the natural level of, something new after the doldrums of the journey.
Perfect. Rolled lower than my passive perception.
That's always how it works. You're using D&D Beyond.
Yeah, I am.
That tends to be my downfall too.
Yeah.
No problem.
I think Peo would be paying more attention to the birds than anything else.
Okay.
I rolled a 10.
Yeah. No problem.
To use my passive perception at 13.
Okay. All right. So you guys are all kind of just going with the flow. You're looking out, but it is tough. This is an unknown environment, unknown situation that you guys have been into. As you guys are kind of there, all of a sudden you feel a slight bump on the ship itself. And if you look to the front of the boat, you will see a female now standing there, wearing kind of like a bronze breastplate with bits of bronze plating like attached on to certain vital areas. Kind of like a high neck collar on this bronze breastplate will protect there. She's not wearing a helmet, so you see the flowing blonde hair, kind of pale skin. She's got a crimson cloak floating behind her, like dark slacks and a dark shirt underneath the bronze plating that covers her thighs, her shins, her chest. She has a long skinny blade strapped onto her waist, and she's kind of like standing there, looking down on you. Welcome to the Barony.
Thank God, land.
Almost. Very close. My ship here, and she gestures, and out of the mist, you see this kind of small, skinny ship. It's about half the size of the ship you guys are on itself, but you can see that it has a large harpoon gun sort of mounted on the fore of the ship, and you can see several figures standing and manning different portions of the ship. And this woman stands there, her cape flapping behind her in this kind of breeze from being upon your ship. We'll look down. We will escort you in, and as long as you do not vary or deviate, we will lead you to the public docking.
Perfect.
All right.
It must be important. Get an escort, guys.
Well, we wouldn't want any of the others to, think of you as lunch.
Lunch.
And then she just kind of steps back and floats up into the air and then will kind of fly over to her other ship. Your captain does not look happy, but obviously is not going to make any maneuvers out of this position. So he kind of like watches the ship as it kind of moves forward and slightly in front of you and to the side, so you're kind of like in this little formation. As you go, you will spot a couple other dark shapes in the clouds, but nothing forms close enough to give you like a clear image of what it is that you're dealing with here.
I'm going to head over to the captain in his position and... Captain, you've traveled here before?
Only once or twice, my friend.
And on those occasions were you given an escort?
It is fairly common, as they're not fond of having visitors here. So if one comes, they usually will make their presence known early.
And you docked at the same place both times that you came here?
I believe so, yes. Yes, the same spot.
Let us know if it's not the same spot as before, please.
Oh, but of course, yes.
Thank you. And I'm going to sidle away, just like casual conversation, back to the front of the ship.
Yeah. The ship will keep going, and you start to see like faint bits of light in the distance, like the flickering of what you would assume is either like torches or fires in the not too distant in front of you. Slowly, these will grow closer and closer, and as you get in, you start to see a large stone, almost like what would be like a bridge, but it's designed to be a dock system, so it's a large stone outcropping that was built out like cobblestones and such, but in such a manner that is sticking off one side of the island to form kind of a very large dock system here. But it's only one large, long, skinny dock with areas for a few ships to dock along this thing in different areas. You see now that the flames that you were seeing are two large bonfires built within a large stone structure, like a large brazier sort of thing with iron spikes kind of jutting out to maintain the logs within it, but acting as like a beacon for anyone coming in who wouldn't otherwise be able to see the dock very well. And it provides a bit of light upon this area, and your captain starts moving forward and shifting over, and you start spotting figures on this dock area, all dressed in like dark clothes with like crimson capes, different forms of military arms upon them. Some of them are in like lighter armor, some of them in heavy armor. It doesn't seem like, besides the dark clothes, the crimson clay cape, and whatever metallic armor being more of like a bronze color, they all seem to be able to have their own armor or their own style of things.
So they all tend to look like they're the same size as the half-elf, or humanoid size, or any which are of a shorter persuasion.
Most of them tend to be on the taller side. There are, you can spot a couple of dwarves, or at least from their body structure, dwarves. You don't see any halfling or gnome size or goblinoid creatures at the moment. One of the figures is gesturing the captain over to like kind of dock in a certain spot and waving a torch, kind of like guide him, almost like the airport with the two batons sort of thing, but just using one, just kind of like waving him in the direction of the spot, of which your captain kind of slowly eases the ship in, and bringing the ship to a point right up near the dock with a few feet distance, and being able to bring the ship to a nice smooth stop. One of the other crewmen runs over and grabs a deck, like a board with rails on it, to bridge that gap between your ship and the dock itself. Well, guys, I'll stay here unless they kick me off. Hopefully things go well for you. If we have to leave in a hurry, well, I hope we don't. But I'll do my best to get us out of here.
Perfect.
If there's any issue with you on the ship, can you do you have a flare gun or some kind of signal you can shoot up so that we can see it from a distance?
I mean, if there's an issue, I'll do my best to give you something obvious. We do have a little bit of magical ability, so if you see a group of orbs floating in the sky all bright, then it's probably us. More
Be sure
than likely.
to get away first. Don't be a hero. Yes?
No worries there, my friend. I don't mess
You're
with
no good to
others.
us dead. That's what I'm saying.
Well, good luck. Bring back that prince, or maybe at least a deal to get him back.
Shouldn't be a problem.
Try our best. Does anyone know which way we've got to go?
I'm fairly sure that they're going to tell us where to go. And I point to like the large military conclave that's waiting for us on the docking area.
Yeah. There's
We're going that
probably
way.
there's probably a dozen or so that you can spot, all in this crimson and bronze, with dark clothing underneath their armor. And you see the man who's standing there at the bottom of the stairs. There is a male, looks human, fairly pale skin. Dark hair, and he has the crimson cloak and all of that. He's got kind of like he's got a short sword on his hip, and he stands kind of waiting for you guys with the torch in one hand and waiting. He looks fairly young, probably in his early 20s or late teens, but you can spot like scars in various parts. Like he's got a scar across his cheek, and part of his he has like shorter sleeves on, so you can spot like underneath his like gauntlets that he's wearing, these kind of like leather gauntlets that have a little bit of metallic protection there. You see like spots of like scar marks underneath.
Can I take a moment to sidle up to Alric?
Yeah, of course.
I suspect they're going to approach us and be as antagonistic as possible. And I have a sensation that perhaps that would be something you might respond to normally. Could I ask that you perhaps not show your full hand at this early stage?
Of course. There should be no problem.
I'm just saying, if they're looking to make a problem, let's be nice.
Very well.
I mean,
I won't
until
fall.
we have to not be nice, and then you do what you have to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he will kind of wait there patiently. Several of the other military forces are going to kind of spread out a little bit, giving room. So it's mainly him in the foreground with a few standing behind him. One of the dwarves will be standing near him, and you can tell that there is a large, hulking kind of like Goliath figure standing next to him, who actually is like shirtless. So he's just got like basically like the black leather pants on and a crimson cape and a large like battle axe strapped to his back. And they're waiting as you guys, I assume, exit the ship.
Yeah. Oh, he must be cold.
I mean, be respectful, but yeah.
Don't get me wrong, I'm loving the fashion in this place. Red cakes are amazing.
They definitely have a look, don't they? Why do you think they have the high metal right around their necks? Yeah, that was... Yeah, exactly.
And
Anyway,
now
should we
to-
go? Should we go say hello, Pyre?
You can.
Badges. And with that, I'm going to step off with perhaps Hendrix.
Yeah,
next
I'll
to me.
follow along.
Okay.
I will follow.
All right. I'm going to look back at Cora, who's staying on the ship. I'm like,
I'm following along, kind of quiet, keeping an eye out.
You don't
Give it.
want anything biting your neck.
yes, Pyre. We know. Thank you, Pyre. Badges.
The figure there standing on the dock, who's kind of stepped forward, will kind of wait for a moment as you guys start stepping forward. Greetings, friends. Welcome to the Barony of Raznich.
Thank you. I have to ask though, the capes, is it like a mass deal? Go to one shop, or do they get handed out? Kind of curious of buying one.
Oh, well, you're welcome to earn one yourself if you'd like. We have positions in the guard.
Ooh,
Crimson Sentinels are always hiring.
interesting.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name.
I am Sergeant Mikkel.
Sergeant. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure. And
We
you?
are... Minnesota Loans. Nice to meet you.
Minnesota.
Apologies, Hendrix.
Pleasure to meet you.
Yes, I also give a slight bow, as befits a sergeant and no more.
Yeah.
Are you taking us to the barony directly?
Yes. The Baron is expecting you, so I am to make sure you get there unscathed.
It's been a long journey. May I suggest that before we actually are granted an audience, we have an opportunity to refresh and recuperate?
Actually, yes, I was going to offer you. And he gestures towards the end of the docks that you can kind of see some torches hanging off a few very like gray stone buildings. Not huge, but fair and sturdy sized ones that definitely look like they could sustain like combat if they needed to. So it's like kind of fortification / housing area. And you see a few other like smaller structures nearby, similarly constructed out of the same sort of stone, but not necessarily to sustain battle. Just these front ones you can see. And gestures towards the buildings. We actually have some food prepared for you if you'd like. Some water basins to wash up. If you guys need to rest, you may very well rest as well.
Thank you very much for the hospitality that you're extending us. It's very kind.
Yes, well, we wouldn't dream of harming diplomats untoward.
Of course. Diplomats.
Well, I mean, you were sent to speak with our Baron about an issue that your nation seems to have with something that's went on.
Yes, that's definitely a way to look at it. We will take you on your hospitality in this moment here. When would the Baron be expecting us? How much time do we have?
How much time you desire. Your prince is currently out there somewhere. I don't know all the details, but I wouldn't dawdle too long, but take whatever time you feel you need. And he starts leading you towards these buildings as you guys talk. Casually walking, the dwarf and the Goliath kind of figure kind of form up kind of behind you guys, with the rest of the military sort of casually moving about. They're not necessarily walking as straight guards, but they're definitely keeping an eye on you guys, with a few remaining back near where the ship is being docked. But it doesn't look like they're all being very casual about things. They're not like trying to board the ship. They're not trying to bother anybody. They're just kind of meandering along.
Just to get a sense of the dimensions of the island that we're on, where the buildings that we're heading to, are we in a position where we can actually see where the Baron would be located from this position?
Why don't you give me a perception check, and we'll see how far your eyes are able to pick up certain things.
Okay, let's find out what kind of roles I'm going to be doing today.
I think Pio.
14.
I think Pio would be surveying the land, looking for any possible dangers or any possible easy access, that kind of thing.
All right. Feel free to tell me whatever you roll. As you guys are walking down this dock system, you can kind of tell it seems like the clouds have thinned out a little bit more at this point. They're still like a low level kind of creeping over the ground, but as you see the mist of the clouds kind of settling a little bit more, the bright moon shines behind like a group of hills, and upon one of the hills you spot a large foreboding kind of structure, a dark stone castle that seems to be the largest thing in the land. A few lights shining in various windows, kind of standing as stark contrast to what the rest of the land as you spot. A few little structures here and there, most small houses from this distance are hard to tell their quality, but there's a few like larger almost mansion estates set up as well, but this is by far the most obvious and foreboding structure upon the area.
Right.
So you'd be able to see it. It is a distant ways, but it's not a from a few other landmarks, it's not the largest island. It is probably like a quarter the size of the island you guys left, but still large enough that there are areas that you won't be able to see from where you are.
All right, okay.
Peo, what did we roll?
16 for basically for the land survey.
Yeah.
So because he's not really too much into the buildings and the people and stuff. He's more about, the actual land itself and, strategic places, of that nature.
So you spot, first of all, there are a few small, areas of scattered tree growth. Everything that you see there, it's kind of like these large oaks that are dark and almost like the leaves are almost like a gray. They still have enough green on it that you can tell that they're trees, but they're definitely not like the vibrant growth of trees that you would get upon your lands. These oaks are kind of dark.
Do they look almost sick?
Yeah, like they're surviving somehow, but the sun doesn't seem to, provide them with much. As you would guess, this island, as you've seen, kind of like the mist covers most of it when it's bright out. So these trees are kind of just sucking up what little they can to sustain life. Or perhaps they have other means, but from your distance, yeah, they look a little sickly, like starved for the proper nutrients. You also spot a couple, out of like a group of bushes, you spot a couple of yellow eyes kind of peering in your direction.
I'm gonna watch, see what they're...
And they stay. Like there's two yellow eyes peeking out of like a bush area or a set of bushes in the darkness. Too dark for you to see what it is. Just the glint of the moonlight or the firelight from various torches in the area glinting off his eyes.
I think I'm gonna move up next to Cora.
I kind of watching the people around me, but I look up when you approach me, and I'm like, yeah.
In the bushes, yellow eyes, staring back. Don't stare at them. Just casually look. We could be watched.
Okay.
This
Can
land
I
is sick.
cast?
Yeah, cast what?
Can I cast animals?
Sorry, what was that? It broke up.
Can I cast locate plants and animals?
Sure, yeah. What exactly is the wording on that one?
Yeah, David, real quick.
Just double check too. Alright, locate plants or animals. So it says a specific kind of beast or plant, concentrating on the voice of nature, you would find it within 5 miles. So you'd have to know a specific one. Kind of beast or plant.
Okay.
Oh.
So I would be able to figure out what that is using that spell?
Yeah, no, it doesn't seem like it. It would be more like if you knew a kind that you would expect to find, you could cast that and it would locate where it would be.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay.
Just by the wording.
No problem.
If you wanted to still do it, because A, this is a one shot, and B, it's like, why not? I'm totally cool. I can give you information.
Okay.
So you send out your
would I-
senses. How is your like, what is your magic like, or what does it feel like as she casts this spell?
It just kind of skims across the land and picks up on the shapes of everything, and she doesn't get like exact pictures, just more a general idea.
Okay. Yeah, so your senses kind of burst out from you in kind of a wave, prodding and kind of sifting through signatures of creatures and such, bypassing the obvious nearby ones. And you feel the sense of a large wolf creature, a dire wolf, that is peering out from these bushes, and it seems to feel you, and you hear this kind of low growl in the back of your mind as you sense out with it, and you pick up that this is indeed a dire wolf, but there seems to be a connection with the dire wolf from somewhere beyond.
I think you're right. We are being watched for sure.
You know what it is.
It's a dire wolf,
Mm.
but I don't think it's here on its own.
And as you guys start talking, the Goliath kind of steps up. Watch the magic, little ones.
Do you know that I have heard that their kind can be taken down with a stone and a leather strap?
You're welcome to try. He smirks and like kind of reaches back towards his axe. Just kind of like, try it. Kind of a look on his face. And as you kind of like look back at him, you see like his tattoos on his body kind of shift a little bit, and you see it kind of take the form of like a wolf-like face, almost like the mouth jaws open, the tattoo becomes like this wolf staring down at you, and the eyes kind of glint on his upper chest, not his nipples, but his upper chest. Eyes form in like this bright yellow flash at you really quickly.
I look back at him, staring him down, like no fear whatsoever, and say, "Do you believe your companion is hiding off in the bushes?"
He just laughs a little bit. Up front, Sergeant Mikkel, without even looking back, behave there. Come on, let's get you guys inside. Don't worry about the wolf. They won't harm you. At least not yet. And he opens up the door, and inside there's like a big fire burning in the fireplace. It is warm and bright inside this room. Torches line the interior of this building. You can catch the scent of like freshly baked breads. There is it appears to be a roast, like a pork roast or something like this sitting out. Various vegetables are arrayed along it. There's a crystal like decanter filled with a dark red liquid. The sergeant will walk in. Come, join us. And he'll kind of hold the door open and gesture for you guys to enter.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Of course.
Go over to the fire and I take off my gloves and I warm my hands by the fire, resting there for a second. Thank you. That will be all right now. We'll send for you when we're ready to actually meet with the Baron.
Very well. Very well. Any questions? I'll be outside.
Certainly.
There's a facility behind if you need to relieve yourselves. It's small, that door back there. Other than that, that's just basically a greeting house and a place to hold up if we need to.
Well, thank you. As I say, we will speak with you shortly. But my colleagues and I, we do need a little moment to ourselves. I'm sure you understand.
But of course. No issues here. I'll be outside. And he'll,
Thank you.
Once you have all entered, he'll step out and he'll pull the door shut. And there's like a locking mechanism on the inside of the door that you're welcome to utilize. Just like it's like a big bar that just like slides over and would lock into a spot. It's a heavy oaken door with a little like metallic like grating out of it that with the iron bars inside of it so that like you can look out and people could look in if they wanted to. But he will wander a little ways away, and kind of there's a building across this street from you, which is about 15-foot wide street area, and another building over there that's lit up as well, and he'll just kind of like lean back against that building if you're looking out and following him, and he pulls out like a dark stick from a pouch, and he'll put it to his mouth, and he'll pull out a little device, and he'll light it up and just start slowly sucking on this like dark, like almost wooden looking stick.
I'm going to go over to the door and I'm going to shut it, but I'm not going to lock it in any way, shape or form, and I'm going to make it clear that that is not locked. I'm going to head over to where the food is. I'm going to point to it to the others and be like, anyone here able to check?
There's also, just so that you guys know, there are a few windows that like look out of this building. The ones facing into the Barony are kind of like larger windows that are more like they can be shuttered up, but right now are held open. The ones that face the exterior of the island are smaller, more like arrow slit style windows.
I'm able to look at that and acknowledge the fact that this is designed to be a defensive holding if necessary. And I can probably surmise that every single building in this area is probably designed and built in the same manner, because it's exactly what I would do. I'm going to look at the food again and say, I don't suppose I have to be obvious enough to say, don't eat the food and drink here.
Hendrix puts down the cake.
I want to cast Detect Poison and Disease as a ritual.
All right, perfect. Yeah. So you take your 10 minutes or so to formulate your ritual. As the spell releases, you detect no poison, no disease. It seems to be perfectly fine.
I wasn't worried so much about the disease, but the poison in terms of anything that could slow us down in any way, shape, or form. Besides, with all due respect, Hendrix, do you really need that cake in your life?
Moment on the lips, lifetime on the hips. I get it. I put the cake back.
I just need you fighting fit.
Of course.
No good to us, Logie. All right, I'm going to take the time to check and make sure I've got my everything in order, and I know where everything is, and just have a quick scrub down, wash my face, and that's going to be what I'm going to be doing during that 10-minute ritual time period.
Yeah, perfect. There is like a small room attached to the back that he had pointed out that is a bathing kind of area. I mean, there's a basic toilet. There is a basin, wooden basin there that has water in it, and as you like touch it to like clean up, it is warm. Like the water is warm, not like boiling hot, but it is like comfortable warm. So like it's not like the frigid shock that a lot of like military structures, it seems to be like, if you visited many, that they don't take the time to worry about the comfort of the water that you're putting in.
Okay. Am I whilst that's happening, then I will take a quick moment to consider the heating and the plumbing of the actual situation. Have a feel on the floor, see if there's a sensation of heating pipes, which are perhaps heating the floor at the same time. And if that's not the case, then my curiosity will be roused later on. Where's that heating coming from?
Yeah, the floor itself doesn't seem like it's emanating any sort of heat. Like the room itself is warm enough just from the fire that's burning in the hearth in the other room. If you would like to investigate further, then you're welcome to investigate further.
I'm not that fussed about it, to be honest with you. I mean, if it's hot water, it's what I would expect.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that my expectations have been met at this early stage, especially for what I had previously considered to be a purely militaristic institution.
Yep. Cool. All right. Anything else you guys would like to do while either waiting for Alaric to make sure there's no poison, or afterwards, once he has let people know that poison is not within?
Well, so far the food seems safe.
Good.
Eat at your own risk.
Cora is kind of peeking out through the windows, just kind of keeping an eye out on everybody outside.
Yeah, you would spot the sergeant's still leaning up against the wall on the other side of the street, kind of like looking at the door, but he's just sitting there slowly puffing on this dark stick that he's got in his mouth. You can hear, though, from your spot kind of peeking out, you can hear the Goliath and the dwarf that's kind of a little bit further up the road, like between you guys and the road that leads further into the land, but not far enough away that you can't hear him joking around. And the Goliath is, "We got 5 gold. They don't touch the food at all." Yeah, I'll take that. I'll take it. Let's do it. And either way, we win. If they leave it, we get a nice meal. If they don't, I'm 5 gold richer.
I sort of share information with Pios. They've taken up bets to see if food.
Who is going to win if we take the food?
The Goliath gets 5 gold if we don't touch it.
We will touch it. And Pios goes over and just grabs a whole handful of nuts and puts them in his bag. And berries and whatnot. I mean, he doesn't actually eat the food. He just puts it in his bag.
Hendrik sees this.
And then picks up a plate and throws it up against the wall. There, we have touched the food. The Goliath will not win.
Io, if we really want to make sure they don't win, we should mess with the food knowing that they're going to eat it.
Take a cake before this ever happens.
I'm going to look, roll my eyes and just move past it, fine.
He took one.
Yeah, whatever, it's fine. No judgments. Well, obviously a bit late for judgment. Alric, do you have anything you can add to the food?
Not necessarily.
I would severely enjoy watching the dwarf and the Goliath having a case of the runs.
Oh, unfortunately, I don't have the magic.
Go on.
I shudder to think what a Goliath with the runs is like.
It would be epic.
About 35 feet.
Oh my god.
I can't think of anything.
Shame. And what about you, Badger? With all your knowledge of the wilderness, you had nothing.
Something. It will take me a bit. And Badger, Pios begins looking around the room and finding weird stuff to mix in with the food. What are you not eating? Show me.
I just point to the food which is there.
He looks over.
But then I take a look at, and I think about it for a second. I consider. I point at the pork, and I go, the meat. That's what they're going to want to eat the most.
Oh, yeah.
Immediately look over at Hendrix. Are you eating this?
No,
Are you eating?
no. I'm good with my one.
And I'm gonna try to concoct something. What do I need to roll?
I don't know. What do you want to use?
I have survival.
Yeah, sure. Survival.
Oh, can I aid him in that?
Yeah, why not? Give him a
Whilst they're doing that, I'm going to go over to the window, sheath in the door, looking over at the sergeant and be like, "We're going to be a little bit longer. Enjoy your whatever you're doing." Shut the window sheath on it again.
Yeah. So Pios, with Aldrich's help, yes, that is good. Scrape that off from the top of the ceiling there. I cannot reach that. That will give good movement.
Taking my javelin.
And Pios collects all of it, and then begins stirring over the. We got a fire going on.
Yeah, there's a fire in the hearth to keep the place warm.
Yeah, so Pios tries to make basically like a coating or something that you would brush on like pork, like a glaze.
A glaze, yeah.
Oh.
So okay, here we go. So advantage, right? Since
yeah.
Okay. First roll.
Gotta love
12.
D&D. You're like,
Right.
you can do whatever you want. We're gonna poison the food so they get the runs.
Not bad, but not good either. I rolled a 13.
Okay.
So,
All right, cool. Let me make a note so I know what you rolled for when I decide I want to roll against it. Okay. Perfect.
and I look at everybody after doing that. Do not touch the meat.
Good note. Well done.
All right.
No problem.
And anything left over, I'm gonna put into a little small,
To go back.
to go bag for just in case if I need it later.
All right. Cool. All right. What are you guys doing?
I'm done. What's next?
Believe we are ready. Shall we meet this Baron?
As I say that, I grab some more berries and throw them in my pouch.
Oh, actually, that's a good shout. I will grab a handful of the berries and put them into one of my emptier pouches.
All right.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I grab a couple apples.
There you go.
Or grabs stores them for later.
Cool.
Looks at Hendrix again. Do not touch the meat.
Hendrix, out of sheer judgment, is not taking anything else but the cake. He's just like, I see how it is now. Okay, cool, no worries. Licks the icing. Puts it back.
All right. As the door swings open, like the dwarf and the Goliath will kind of quiet down, and they turn to kind of like face the direction. The sergeant's still sitting there. Takes one long like drag on the stick, and he'll like pull it down, and he'll like snuff it out on the bottom of his shoe, like he lifts up one foot and like taps it out, and then takes it, just double checks it, and sticks it back in a pouch on his belt. Well, you guys ready?
That was good. We have better.
You have better? Better food? Maybe. I found the food here always quite filling and good, but
Perhaps you should come to our island one day and experience our culinary delights.
perhaps I shall.
When this is
Inviting
all
me
over,
over?
we would be glad to extend an opportunity to you. Maybe not an invitation. I know how some people would like that a bit more than others.
Oh, well, whatever. When I was a boy, we didn't have much. That's one reason I'm here.
How did you find yourself a sergeant, though? You must have risen up in the ranks to be one. With respect, you appear to be quite young.
Yeah, well, I started fairly young, I suppose. I became a Crimson Sentinel when I was 10 or 11? Something like that, I don't know. I've been here.
And how old are you now?
Somewhere in my 20s, I believe. I don't put much on birthdays. My commanders, my masters, however you guys call them, the lords of this land don't really age. So they don't really put much stock in that. And being a servant of theirs, I suppose I just let it be. It's not that important.
And they're good to you, these masters? Well, of course they are. You just said you're a sergeant before you were nothing.
Yeah, it's something. And he starts walking with you guys. I mean, I grew up in a small area, small community, not much food, not much to have at all. And they came and offered to take care of my family, make sure they'd never be hungry again. So here I am.
I just kind of scoffs at that underneath his breath.
And how long do they expect you to serve for?
At this point, where else am I gonna go? When you've been a member of the Crimson Sentinels, you've done the things they ask you to do, you've seen things that most people would not understand and not be able to fathom. No one's really looking to accept you in open arms into their society.
Still, though, you must yearn to want to relax, retire at some point. You can't expect to do this till you fall, do you?
Got a little while longer, and who knows? We'll see. To be honest, many of us don't live super long. Some are promoted, I suppose you say, to be able to enjoy their lives as long as they desire.
I am intrigued by the notion of someone so young saying that your position is now fixed based on what you have done. You would be surprised at the opportunities that are available to those with ability and spirit. So consider you have options. We're a friendly nation, as you have the opportunity to find out today. Sergeant Jabek, we are here on a mission of diplomacy. If that would run to an exchange program where such as yourselves would actually want to see what life is like on a different island, maybe that would be something that would be beneficial to your masters as well.
Well, perhaps you can speak to the Baron yourself about it. That is where we're going. He gestures towards the large, castle up ahead on the top of the nearest hill. And he's kind of, slowly leading you up there. And you guys can spot the wolf that you had spotted earlier, kind of, wandering back and forth across the trail, far in front of you guys. Every now and then looking back, but making its way towards the castle as well.
As we're following him, with that last statement he mentioned, I want to cast Divine Sense.
Okay. Now, what's the overall range of Divine Sense?
60 feet.
Alright. And that's undead,
celestial, fiend.
Okay. Within 60 feet, you do not sense any.
Okay.
These particular members of their society are alive mortal beings.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And he will kind of continue up. You say these things too. You say that people would accept you, but I don't know. Many times thought to go back and see my sister, but I don't believe she could accept me or forgive me for the things I've done, even if it were for her survival.
Forgiveness has to come from within first. And I say that I'm nothing more than a clerk, nothing more than a secretary, but I still find myself sent on diplomatic opportunities because my heart is good and I know where I will be. Certainly not a warrior as yourself, but consider your position. That's all I will say. And as for your sister, for all you know, she's been mourning your loss the entire time you've been gone.
Perhaps indeed. And perhaps much of it is, like you say, forgiveness must come first from within. And I'm not sure I'm ready to forgive myself for the things I do. You speak like a holy man, though.
Oh, no. When I say clerical work, I mean literally with paper and pen, sir.
Wow. That must be incredibly dull, but okay.
Yes, it is. I'm an incredibly dull person. Certainly not someone worth thinking about twice.
Could very well be while you're here.
Dull often wins. The pen is mightier than the sword in some instances. And the simple fact is, where some people will settle things with other avenues, my way is to simply find what it is someone wants and provide that need. And assuage it.
And he's leading you guys up, and you guys get to the point where you're getting up to the castle, and there's a turn in the road that kind of bends around and comes through this very high, thick wall that kind of so it doesn't lead straight on from the road. The road comes up and then comes around part of the wall and up a set of stairs, and the wall kind of is thick and high around this whole area. There's a gate that has been raised, and you can spot other members, obviously with the cloaks and the bronzed armor standing on the walls nearby, and the pathway kind of leads up, and there's almost like a courtyard here between two large walls with no doors that lead out of it other than the entryway. And as you guys make it in, that gate shuts, and the one in front of you will rise up, leading into a larger courtyard, which you can spot ahead of you will have a set of stairs that lead up into the main castle itself, with several more militaristic barracks, a stable area off to one side, an area that looks like it would be a forge and kind of like a practice grounds for the military to use in this kind of open courtyard with a little bit like a fountain in the middle as well, providing a little stream of water.
Minnie's going to be absolutely attentive at this point, by the way. He wants to know the exact height of the wall on the outside. He wants to know the mechanism that's going to be working for the door that's shutting and allows the second door to open. He wants to have an idea of the depth and the width and the metals and the materials that are involved for those doors. He wants to know what's the materials on the outside of the doors, the idea of how old the stone bricks are, the fortifications, have an idea of the numbers of the soldiers which are around at all times, have an idea of lines of sight as he's moving through, taking into account avenues as he's walking down the route. He wants to know where the forge is and how brightly that burns, whether there's anything flammable around. He's taking into account every single intricate element of this fortification for defenses and approaches into it, avenues in and out. He's looking for where is the nearest window which will allow him to exit over the top of the wall. All of these different things Minnie is taking into account as he approaches it, all the while claiming absolute dull as dishwater.
Perfect. I'm going to ask for 2 different rolls because some of those I think will be more of an investigation matter just because they use your intelligence. Not that you are physically touching things, but I think like mechanisms and the use thereof would be more intelligence.
I genuinely thought I rolled a natural 1, but it was a 7. Okay. So 6 on the investigation. Yeah.
And then a perception.
Yeah, okay, that's more my bag generally. Oh my god. No, I actually rolled a natural 3. So give me a 6 on that bad boy.
Double 6 is
It's dark,
beautiful.
man.
Yeah, it's dark. It's tough. The walls are old, but everything's well maintained. It's tough to tell. The mechanical structures seem to be kind of like on the interior of the walls, so it's very tough for you to see. You do see, a few of the guards here and there, but it is tough to gain a good grasp on the exact military use of it. And perhaps it's because you're more of a cleric and you don't know how military stuff works very well, but.
Do I know enough to know that I don't know enough, and I'm going to have to take a closer look at a second later date?
Yeah. You kind of it wasn't such that you're like, oh yeah, I've got it. This is totally this. It's more like, yeah, I wish I understood how all this stuff worked, sort of a thing. And perhaps looking at Alaric or Hendrix or the more military-minded individuals that you're kind of been traveling with, they may have a better sense of things than you would. Okay.
Similarly, while walking in, can I check just to see where the mechanism to open the gate is? Can I identify where that is?
I'd say probably that just spotting it would be more of a perception check of some sort to see if you see where the mechanism originates or how that works.
Okay. I believe I just rolled it.
I'm not following any of the dice rolling, so just
sure.
18. Nice. You actually spot as you kind of walking through each side. There is you can see the figure, a silhouette of a figure in one of a window that's over the door itself, that's able to look down and in. So there's one on either side. You spotted one as you entered. There was a man up there who seemed to be operating some sort of mechanism. So it's within the building structure, right above the main gate area. Someone needs to, whatever it is, throw a lever or actually with an 18, you see that he's cranking this almost like a wheel looking thing, but he's just he cranks it up and is able to maneuver it in such a way that it raises or lowers the gate from there.
I'll give Minnesota a little nudge and gesture up towards the guardhouses. Looks like that's the keys to the door.
Nice. Keep your head on this level, Hendrix.
Very nice.
Work.
Sergeant will continue to lead you on. The courtyard itself at the moment seems to be fairly devoid of activity, but there are lights that you can see in the castle ahead of you. The forge lays cold and quiet at the moment. All you do is you see people on the walls in various spots. The more perceptive of you probably spot a figure crouched upon one of the high roofs, looking down upon you guys, cape flowing in the night. Sergeant will push open these large double doors that lead into the castle itself. They are heavy oak doors, and they seem to be like chiseled in with images of mounted knights, but all of them seem to have like sharp canine teeth, like a moon kind of structured into the door. It seems like on one side it's these knights that are mounted charging down, and on the other side you see images of like demonic figures that are chiseled into that side that are being like run down by the knights themselves. And Sergeant pushes the door open and starts leading into the castle, and the front entryway, there's kind of like a long walkway, and then kind of there's an opening area with stairs that will lead up. The carpets in this area are like a crimson color with like bronze bordering on it, with a couple of just like filigree sort of symbols built into it. He passes these and starts heading in. There's another set of double doors ahead of there, and he'll push those open, and you will find yourself in a room that has like marbled floors, it's like white marble with like the gold kind of streaks kind of going through the marble areas, large white marble pillars, a huge like kind of square shaped pool of water lying still in the very middle of the room. Further on, there's a set of stairs that lead up to 2 thrones upon there, of which one is sitting a man who looks to probably be in his like mid to late 30s, a little bit of like gray kind of like running through his goatee, but he's got like a full goatee, short cropped hair. He is wearing currently kind of like a suit sort of thing, so it's like a high collared, no like collarless style, but like goes up high with bronze buttons going down it. It is a dark color with he's got a crimson cape as well, but it's far more ornate with like silver trim on the outside of the cape. And he's kind of like lounging in the main chair, and next to him is what would look like a beautiful elven woman in white and kind of like silver dress, and she has fairly pale skin, like blonde hair, and they're both kind of like lounging there, and they have goblets in their hands. And you see other individuals like lining the sides of this kind of courtroom, and they have kind of scooted off to the side as Sergeant Kiel leads you in and past like this large water area and around it, and he starts walking towards the front.
Are we introduced as we enter?
Not as of yet. He's still leading you up. I just wanted to give you guys a second if there was anything you were looking to do or say or utilize before I moved into him introducing.
It's grand.
I'm just looking straight at the head, the king, just trying to engage him in pure eye contact from the moment that we enter. And as soon as I gain that, I'm going to look away, either to the ground or just in a direction that's not to another person, and then spend the rest of that journey looking at that fixed point on that ground.
All right. For those of you kind of like looking around, as you like look up in the center, right above this pool of water, there's it goes up probably about 50 feet up above you, this large like cathedral ceiling for this room, and there's a large dome there that allows you to see kind of like starlight and moonlight kind of gleam in from this portion of the room, kind of illuminating this room in a dull glow. There's also surrounding kind of this court area, there are these kind of a light blue flame that is burning on a lot of these different sconces, giving enough light for everyone to kind of see without any difficulty, even for those of you that can't see in the dark itself. Sergeant walks forward. Baron, may it be my honor to introduce you. And he kind of gives a bow to the Baron, and then while he's still bowed down to the Baron, he kind of shifts his head and nods towards the woman there. These are the emissaries from the Letton. They seem to be coming about a prince. Emissaries, this is Baron Tristan Clazo, Lord of these lands. Welcome. Welcome all. Greetings. So glad you made the trip. We get so few visitors. Willingly, anyways.
Yes, thank you for having us. We come as a voice of our kingdom, and as such, we would consider ourselves as nothing more than manifestations of that kingdom. I'm sure you understand what I say when I say that. It just saves a lot of time down the road if we remember that at the forefront. You have a beautiful island, and you have been most courteous to us upon our arrival. Thank you for the food and the opportunity to wash up after the journey.
Of course. So if you actually want to take advantage of such things, but I figure you can't stop offering. That would be very rude, wouldn't it?
It would. And people seem to forget courtesy, especially in times of stress or drama. Perhaps we can avoid both of those things on this occasion.
Sounds perfect. So, do you guys need anything? Wine or food? I mean, we offered before, but again must offer courtesy.
I look at the rest of the group like, no. No, we're fine.
Fair enough. And he takes a long, slow drink from his goblet.
I'm going to step forward, stepping towards him. I'm going to continue walking towards him as I speak to see at what point I'm going to actually be stopped, see how close they will allow me to approach the king in this instance. Almost offhand, not really thinking about it, speaking on, as I say, are of course aware that we are here to recover the prince who has been mistaken for someone else, some error in judgment at some point. I know how these things can happen. It is easily resolved. We simply need to recover the prince, and we can be on with our way, maintain convivial relationships with yourselves, and extend that level of cordial conviviality to yourselves as well.
As you're walking closer, when you get within about 10 feet or so of the throne, you hear the growls of two creatures as two huge, like wolf-like creatures kind of pad forward, like from behind these large thrones, and walk over and kind of like lay down somewhat, not directly in between you two, but enough that it's like you would have to pass within a few feet of two gigantic wolf-like creatures as they lay back down on across the stairs, kind of in front of you.
I'll stop about 5 foot away from them and be like, "Oh, nice puppies. Who's a nice puppy? Oh, yes, you are. Sorry, I just love a good dog. What? These are lovely breeds. I've never seen these kinds before."
Well, their type did not survive much of the shattering. We have our own supply of them around here.
Yes, they are. What's their names?
Brutus here, on the right, and that is Sandra over there.
Brutus and Sandra. Hello. I've got some berries for you. Do you want some berries? No? Okay, that's
They're
fine.
not much of berry people. Dogs, I suppose, are not really people. Anyways.
Perception. Can I get an insight on that real quick?
Yeah. Go for it.
I want to know whether or not these are actual lycanthropes, or whether or not that's just how he really thinks about Brutus and Sandra, that they have personalities and that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, do it. Anyone else, feel free to like jump in. Let me know what you're thinking or doing if there's anything you're looking for.
I got a 14 on that one.
Yeah. He seems to often forget that they are not like what most people would consider to be sentient beings. Like, to him, they have their own personality, and perhaps, like, to your character, he wouldn't know enough about the breed. So, but this lord, the Baron, feels that they have, like, enough that they consider them people to himself. Like, they are not actual lycanthropes as far as you can tell from your read on him, but he has that sense of, like, these are my kids, sort of thing.
Okay, so my follow-up was going to be, as an extension off of that role and from what you said, he holds value to these dogs.
It seems, yeah. You can tell, like, the way he glances at them is almost like, that's
with fondness.
Yeah,
okay.
Those are my kids,
Right.
yeah.
there would be loss if something bad would happen to these dogs.
Yes.
Okay, good to know.
But they
Good to
are big, like 2 or 3 times probably your halfling size. Like they are.
Everyone's bigger than me, man.
Yeah.
I don't like.
Yeah, it doesn't bother you.
Yeah,
It's the way of life.
yeah. It's like, oh, you're a dwarf. You're still 4 times my size.
Yeah.
That's fine. Yeah.
The larger members of your party could probably ride these things with ease.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
They're pretty big then.
Yeah. Well, anyways, let us get to the crux of the matter then. It does not seem like you really want to waste as much time bandying pretty words and wasting moments of compliments of...
Immediately you hear from the back, no.
Yeah, see.
Business first, pleasure later.
Oh, yes, if you would like pleasure, I'm sure that many would like to show you some of the more interesting means of our entertaining each other.
You forgot work in between that.
Yeah, business first, Badger. Absolutely.
Yes, of course, business. You are looking for a member of your realm. What did he scream his name was several times? Prince something. And he just kind of like sits there, almost like didn't really matter to him that much. Like he's just like, said his name. And the woman next to him kind of like leans over. Prince Spiros, darling, Prince Spiros. Ah, yes. The Prince Spiros, who was so important. They sent 5 delegates that I would venture to assume they don't care whether they come back. What are we talking about? You would like him back, yes?
Absolutely.
Personally, I didn't care. He wasn't a sanctioned trip. He, luckily for you, wasn't a food run either. He was an entertainment run.
What does... You know, I don't need to know that at this point. That's fine. Whatever is your entertainment is your entertainment. My question is he alive?
Oh, yes. Yes. Should be.
And he is of no interest to you?
Other than the pure entertainment value he does offer to my court, yes. No entertainment. No matter.
And what do we need to do today to consider you actually releasing him to us?
That is an interesting option. He glances over at his wife, who kind of gives a smirk. We could use more soldiers. So here's an option. A simple one. A quick and easy one. You get your prince back now. No more problems. I'll send a word. He'll be brought to your ship, and he'll depart. You can remain guests and members of my court, and join my ranks for my Crimson Guard. Easy trade. 5 people your lords didn't care whether came back or not, for 1 prince that they cared a lot about. Or,
I believe that's called an opening gambit, and as such, I'm going to move past it. I'm sure you would do the same if we had offered you something equally presumptuous.
Had to try. Some people would
absolutely
love to work for me.
Of course, and they may well be in this court right now.
Yes, they all enjoy their stay here.
But I think you'll find that we are quite loyal to our king and country.
Perfect. In which case, we are here for entertainment. That is why they are gathered. So would you like to compete in a game, a competition, so to speak? It's sort of an all-or-nothing gamble thing. You either can sign over your duty to us now, or you could go find your prince. Save him. You'll be allowed to leave after that. No more harassment. Take him on your boat and go.
I would very much like to have an insight roll to be able to actually read between the lines. And I mean, in my head, out of character, like, okay, so sure. But I wanted to see if my guy's picking this up as well.
Okay, yeah.
That's a 20. Dirty 20, dirty 20.
Yeah, he's not really lying. He is glad to give you guys free passage if you guys go through his game he's proposing, if you're able to find the prince and save him, you'll be given free passage. If not, he's not guaranteeing you're going to survive the games itself.
Do I get a sensation off of that insight check that whilst odds may be stacked against us, they're not going to cheat?
Yeah,
The odds are not insurmountable.
Yeah, it definitely seems from your read on things that he legitimately wants a good time. Like, he wants the entertainment value of this is far more important than anything to do with the prince or even your service in his court. He's actually probably happy, and you get a sense of that you didn't accept his initial opening offer of, yeah, we're going to surrender to you and we'll let my prince go free.
Okay. I hear what he says, and there's a pause as I take a look around the room. As I take a look around the room, I'm going to have a look at my group of guys, getting a read off of their faces, seeing what they're looking like. I've got a yeah, fuck it from Hendrix. I've got a Pio looking like let's murder everyone. Alric's like looking perhaps like finally something. I'm fucking bored. Let's do something. And Cora's looking at me like, what?
What's Cora's thoughts on this?
Cora is still like an absolute...
Save the animals.
Cora's got that poker face on her, man. I can never read my own kind.
She's been sort of fiddling with the one of her arrows, just kind of letting you talk and watching the dogs and watching the Baron and she'd be up for the games.
Right. So he's seeing you fiddle with the arrow as you're staring at the dogs, and he's like, right, okay. Looks like all four of them are well up for it. So I carry on my pass as I'm looking around at the whole crowd of the court, and then I come back to the king and I go, well, let the games begin.
Excellent. Dear, would you do the honors? And his wife, this elven woman, will stand and slowly descend the stairs. But as you see, she just kind of like floats over the stairs down towards the water. And she kind of like floats past you guys down towards the water. And she makes a gesture with her hand, and the perfectly still water will ripple. And as it descends and stops and smooths back out, you see the scene of a dark field, moonlit, with several small buildings, a pathway going through the middle. You see a humanoid figure kind of like standing in the middle of the pathway, kind of like just lazily standing there. And then it like kind of jerks a little bit and like starts wandering off in a random direction. Well, somewhere over here, and we'll help you get to the starting point anyways. Within this area, there is your prince. You're not the only ones looking for him, though. One of our new recruits, so to speak, is also on the lookout for him. It's a little bit hungry. So, if you guys can beat the crew recruit there and save your prince, then we'll consider the game over. If you run into him, that I cannot vouch for you. And some of the other denizens of the local area who won't bother a new recruit may hinder your own advancement. But other than that, there you are.
So it's a race.
Yes. Sadly, you're a little behind, but you probably have more overall skills than this recruit. It's more raw potential.
Show us where the finish line is then.
Well,
Perhaps a map of the entire area would be nice as well.
Has it got a point pinpointed where the prince is then?
Oh, he just gestures like it's somewhere in that scene, like it's somewhere. He's somewhere in there. I don't want to spoil the whole thing, but I will have my sergeant here lead you to the area, and then you may, from there, ascertain a bit of it. He'll give you maybe the outer bounds. Sergeant, you just say, show him where the fence lines are. It is kind of our normal setup area. We vary where we put people. But we enjoy the show.
Yes, if there are places which are out of bounds on the island, it would perhaps behoove us to have a map of the island so we would know where not to go.
Perhaps it would. That might not be fun, though. Anyways, Sergeant, would you like to show them anything you guys need before you exit? Refill your water, or some wine, or any provisions? I mean, the clock's ticking, but anything you need.
I'm pretty set.
Sergeant, you may take Brutus with you if you like. Why don't you get them some mounts and lead them there so that they're not at too much of a disadvantage. He bows and looks at you all and gestures, and the dog that was laying in front of the Baroness gets up and kind of pads after the sergeant and kind of like nudges up against his shoulder, like putting his snout like on his shoulder against the sergeant, pats him on the head. Come on, guys, let's go. And the sergeant kind of starts leading fairly quickly.
As we're walking out, he's kind of in the back, watching ever so, carefully, as well as he's looking around, and he wants to find about this big, shiny, not so much shiny, more like a polished, well-made stone.
Like out in the courtyard area, or?
Yeah, or even part of the building, or any place of that nature, something nice.
Okay.
Something that's good weight.
All right. Yeah, no, you could totally find something.
He picks it up, puts it in his pouch.
No problem.
Eyeballs the Goliath when doing so.
He just kind of smirks. Jordan, go get them some mounts. Sergeant Mikel kind of shouts over to the Goliath as they get closer, and Goliath kind of rushes off over to the stable area. He opens several doors and he comes out leading 5 skeletal horses. Some of them still with kind of flesh hanging off in areas. They all have saddles upon them with the crimson. For whatever reason, they still have the saddle blankets on them, even though they're skeletal horses. So he leads them out to you, and the sergeant will grab hold of a tuft of Brutus's hair, and the dog will kind of crouch down, and he'll swing up on top of the wolf. Look to the rest of you. Whenever you're ready, let's go.
Look at Cora. Told you this place was dead.
Yeah, they poor horses look like they could use a little hay.
You can literally see portions of their bones and stuff, just obviously not alive at any point recently.
I think they're going to need a bit more than hay.
Probably.
Saves on logistics, the sergeant calls as the Brutus kind of pads over a little bit closer. Besides, they don't shrink back when Brutus or Sandra or any of the other pets are around.
Well,
yeah. Well, shall we?
Indeed.
I'll try and mount the horse, being quite cautious, believing that it's decaying. It might fall apart. Gentle as I get on.
Yeah.
Before I'm comfortable on it.
At first, it feels a little weird, you can almost hear the creaking of bones and such as you kind of mount up, but whatever magics are sustaining them are stronger than the weight that you present. Mikhail will kind of lead back out the way you guys came in, but this time he's going to kind of skirt around the backside of the castle and kind of over the hill area with you guys behind, he'll stop every now and then, just kind of glance back and wait for the horses to catch up as they plod along a little bit slower than this wolf kind of wants to run ahead.
How smooth is the ride?
It's not bad. I mean, it's not as smooth as a living horse. It's a little bit more jolted, not quite as smooth or fluid as a living creature's motions would be, but the first beginning of it is paved area, there's cobblestone that's been smoothed over centuries of time, so very smooth, perfectly well kept pathway. But then Mikkel stops like up on a grassy hill that leads up, and that part's a little bit rougher as the horses have to plod along through like dirt and avoid stumps and small brush.
Okay. Are you going to be with us throughout the entire game?
Oh no, I am. I don't play. I'll lead you to the front. I'll show you where the walls are and point you in the right direction.
Okay. And you enjoy this game?
Hell no.
You think this game is appropriate? You're a warrior. You're used to actually fighting someone on the field of battle. You think this is acceptable?
This is what it is. Done worse. I've seen worse. Lucky you even get a chance. They don't care if your nation is upset at them. No one's going to invade. They're lucky my Baron gives a chance.
We shall have this conversation at a later date.
Fair enough. He'll lead you down, and there's like a large 15-foot wall, like stone wall that just kind of like engulfs an area that was once some sort of town or village. But as you like look down, many of the buildings are kind of decrepit, areas of them broken and open. There's fields that probably were once farm fields but lay like fallow and just like rough dirt turned up, with like the remnants of picket fences that like would border in the farmland to keep livestock and others from getting in and bothering them. You see here and there a couple humanoid figures like just standing in the middle of fields. You don't see, there's like no lights currently going. There's a few like rolling hills that obscure some of your visions from places, but he'll gesture, somewhere within the walls of this town lies your prince.
Well, thanks for your help.
Very well. Good luck.
Any advice before we set out?
Well, I mean, more than likely they don't hide them in the front few buildings. Otherwise, the other thing would have already finished it. Anything you encounter between here and there that's not your prince, I would probably assume is not worth bandying words with.
Thank you for the advice.
Any of you with skills, maybe you can track or see if you can spot anything that would lead you in the right direction. If the prior participant has already passed that area, they would have had to start from here as well.
Okay.
This is no way to treat a secretary. Good day, sir.
I've never had a secretary, but okay. And he like turns and Brutus will pad away from you guys. But you can see him further up the hill, like back towards the castle a little bit, but him and Brutus kind of like mounted up there looking down at you guys.
As they go past, can I take a smear of that berry juice which is in my pocket and just slap the rump of Brutus as it goes past, going, "Have a good day, puppy."
Sure, yeah.
Okay.
It doesn't really react. Like, it is well enough trained that it doesn't turn and try to snap your hand off. But
That's fine. I'm gonna turn to Cora and say, "Mark that berry juice. Next time you want to actually look for a particular plant, we can actually see where that one is if it's near us. Yes, it might be useful for a beacon. So mark it well."
Good idea.
that's cool. I love it. All right.
I love good ideas, Cora. You'll learn that.
And what all would you guys like to do?
Immediately, Pius jumps off the decay and begins scouring the area,
All right.
trying to find any tracks whatsoever.
Survival check for anyone really near. Or if you'd like to give advantage.
Anybody?
Yeah.
20.
Yeah.
Are we rolling separately or giving advantage to each other?
Well, if there's more than one trying, let's go ahead and everyone can roll on their own for either survival, or if they want to use some other sense, like a perception or investigation, if they feel that there's something in particular that they are looking for.
And I pull out my familiar Daisy and have it fly up and just circle the area, just trying to get a survey of the land, see if there's any, I don't know, smoke in the distance or burned down rubble, etc.
Perfect.
Getting an idea of what's out there.
Yep. Once you have Daisy's perception, or however that works with your familiar, unless you're using your own eyes through her,
I will take a moment to switch out and look through her eyes.
which I believe she gets advantage on perception checks using vision, I think.
Correct.
So, go for it.
22
Ooh.
and an 18, so 22.
All right. Everyone else?
I rolled an 18 for my survival.
Okay.
I'm going to
I
proclaim
rolled a-
loudly, this is not my bag at all. And I would then try and think in terms of, if I was a noble who had been just sent out at the start of the game to run away, where would I run to? And try and think like the prince would think. But like, I'm just watching the others work, and I'm just going to stay on my skeleton and not move.
All right. There are multiple areas, like the tracks here have, especially this entry point, have been long kind of like worn in. But there are spotted two sets, two more distinct and more recent. One would be that of a decent-sized wolf, not Brutus-sized wolf, but a decent-sized wolf, perhaps on the more dire wolfish side of things. And a set of like humanoid footprints, like boot prints, fairly like dainty, like not tiny person, but like probably like standard human size, but like not like big, thick, fat feet. Strike you in the immediate vicinity of that. The owl up above will spot that there are several fields out there, of which there are, moving amongst like several of the buildings, humanoid creatures that kind of like shamble and move around almost with no direct like aim or purpose. They're just kind of like wandering, meandering at a slow kind of shuffling pace. There seems to be 3 buildings in the area that don't seem to be totally out of like commission, that seem to be of decent enough size ones. There's kind of over further to the east, there is a kind of like a manor house of sorts, a 1-story, a little bit sprawled out building with like a little courtyard there. And since your owl kind of flying around, we'll spot that there's like some sort of pool like in the middle. Like there's the house, and it's got like a courtyard that the house is built around with a pool within that. Further kind of to the north, northwest of the area, your owl spots like a 2-story, smallish like structure, but it looks to be well maintained, well established. And there's another one like further to the west from you guys, kind of near the gates, like near the wall, but further to the west. There seems to be like a guard tower sort of thing, like it's a tall, like 50-foot high tower structure that seems to be there, with crenellated walls up top, and an area that looks like it would have like a bonfire could be built within it. Those 3 structures look like they are intact, and perhaps a better location to attempt. Anything anyone like to do before you guys set out? In which case, let's take a short break. Thank you so much for those who showed up so far. We do appreciate it. I'm having a lot of fun working through this. I'm brushing off some of the cobwebs because it's been a little while. So thanks for putting up with any stream issues I've had so far. We're going to go on a short break, and then we'll come back and finish this up. Thank you so much, guys, for joining us for yet another XP Guild show. If you are enjoying this, please do us a favor, click like, subscribe, hit the bell notification if you want to be notified when our next show goes live. Feel free to drop us a comment. We'd love to hear from you guys, hear your thoughts on the show, or anything else you want to talk about. I'd like to take a quick moment to say thank you to our friends over at Hero Forge, a Sky Castle LLC product. We are not sponsored by them, but if you're looking for great custom miniatures, check out HeroForge.com. They've been so kind to let us use their art, as many of the miniatures and artwork that we use come from their website with their permission. However, they have not reviewed our content, and so what we do does not necessarily represent their views or beliefs. Again, thank you to Hero Forge. Now, let's get back to the show. Welcome back, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you for those joining us. We have, Shadow Soldier PR in the chat, who's granted advantage to the next person rolling a skill or attack. So, that's out there. It's another thing if you join us live on our Twitch channel. We do have perks for people who are active in the chat. As you earn points, you can utilize those points to grant out advantage, healing potions, things like that for the players and such. Or the DM. I'm just saying, I can take advantage too. I'll just throw it. No. Anyways, thank you for joining us now. If you are seeing this live, then in about 5 hours, Dave's going to be running another game, which I'll be playing in, along with some other amazing members of the Fire XP Guild. So join us for the Vagrant Vigilantes then. Let's get back in. When we left off, the group had just gathered a few clues as to the possible location of the prince. And up on the hill a little bit further away is Sergeant Mikel and Brutus watching from a distance just to ensure that they're not randomly wandering in places that they shouldn't be. As they're going about, what, if anything, are we working on?
Guys, there's seems to be some structures in the distance. Probably safer inside than outside.
Have I spotted anything with the 18?
I mean, you spotted the paw prints of a large, like direwolf size canine creature, and near that, some slimmer humanoid footprints in the mud of this kind of area here.
It not only looks like that, but dire wolves, more of them, and possibly riders. So be wary. We have four-legged friends that we must deal with as well. Let us go.
Shall we? Yes. Let's make haste.
Working your way into this area, you spot in the distance a few of these humanoid creatures kind of shambling about. How are we proceeding? Are we riding the horses? Are you trying to move more stealthy? Are you just kind of trying to rush to the structures? What?
I think Pios would definitely not ride the living carcasses and go ahead and move as stealthily and as quickly as possible on foot, trying to blend in as best as possible.
Everyone else along that same border, or is
if I notice somebody dismounting, I'd probably do the same, staying as a group.
I'm following their lead
Yeah.
100%.
okay? Stealth rolls then for everybody. I'll give you this: if anyone feels they rolled really bad, you can use that inspiration or the reroll, the advantage
Nice.
that he gave, but only one person. So you guys pick if you need it,
Okay.
or you can
I'm
save
assuming it's Alric. The way he's laughing.
Yeah, I got disadvantage because I'm wearing heavy armor. I rolled a net one.
it. Okay, then
Take it.
go ahead and roll that nat one again.
All right.
Oh, not rolling that one again. Rolling that 20.
I'll roll it again. It's fine.
Oh, it's another
better.
nat one.
No!
No way.
Kid
No
you
way.
not. Clink, 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 clink.
So proud of you right now.
How's everyone else? It is a group check,
To
so
glory.
I got a 21.
I got a 12.
18?
18. Pale, what was yours?
19.
All right. You guys are progressing through this area. You don't notice any of these shambling creatures kind of turn towards you and directly make for you. As you're on this path, it seems to be fine. They don't seem to bother you. Is there a specific structure we're heading towards, or anything else we're
Yes.
using to get a better gauge as to there are three in three different areas? 3 options in 3 different areas. So
Following Hendrix Isle, I would assume. Maybe.
Yeah. Shall we go to the one where did you say a fountain? I'm sure this running would make you thirsty.
Indeed. Let us go. And can you be any more quieter, Alric? Civilization.
Just kind of pulls his chin up high, just throws his helmet on, no, we will fight for glory.
They backstab you, then you'll not fight anything at all.
you guys make your way up the hill, and you come across a structure. It seems to be a small-ish 2-story building, decently maintained, kind of wooden walls. There's a little fountain up front, that doesn't seem to be really like, it's not like continually trickling water, but there's a little bit of water still like in the basin there that looks clean enough. It's fairly dark and not overly inviting, but there's a solid double door there. In fact, we can go over to Owlbear if you guys desire, and I know we have one player who won't be able to due to constraints, but that is fine. So if you see, we have a large structure here with a small stairway that leads up to like a double door area. This particular one looks almost like that's a fireplace, but I'm just going to use that as the entryway because I like the layout of it from there. And as you guys lead up, though the picture looks like there's plenty of light in there, it is dark. Obviously I'm using the map that I had. This one is one I picked up on Kickstarter, so thank you to Yarrow Studios. I'm hoping it's okay that I'm using your map because it's cool, and I thought it worked well for this particular area. So is there anything you guys would like to do as you approach this building or prepare for?
I think Pius would creep from bush to bush as best as possible, shadow to shadow, and dig up on a window.
Okay. What would you like to do with as you sneak up on said window?
From there, I'd like to actually stealthily peek in and see what I see.
Give me a perception check. Anyone else doing anything in preparation?
For any clues?
Okay, yeah. Either survival, I guess if you're looking for like, I don't know, any like footprints or anything like that, or perception if you're looking for other just like generic things that you can see, clues.
9 for perception.
Okay. It's pretty tough. Like the whole area is fairly muddy, and it's kind of hard for you to spot any specific things that grasp you as out of the ordinary or interesting. Decora. Sorry, what was yours, Dave? Pius?
12.
It's dark inside. It is tough to tell. The structure itself seems to be well enough maintained. Solid foundation of it. Doesn't appear to be like a constantly lived in location. You kind of get a little bit of this room just because of like the moon shining through. It almost looks like it was kind of like an entry kind of gathering area. There seems to be a large like opening that leads out of the room, like directly across from where the door is itself.
Is this a single-story building?
No, it is a 2-story building. So
is there a window in the second floor? And how high up is that second floor window?
There is a window on the second floor. Let's see, what would they be? Probably about 15 feet up.
Okay. I'm going to start climbing up onto that, to the second floor window.
All right. Why don't you give me an athletics check to see how your climbing is working?
Ooh.
I give him a hand up as much as I can.
Sure. Go ahead and take advantage on that.
Could I perhaps be using acrobatics rather than athletics?
I guess. Yeah, sure. Why not? I'll give you acrobatics.
Cool. That's a 12 or a natural 1. Holy Jody moly. I hope these are my bad rolls for the day.
Yeah, let's hope so. With a 12, it's like you get a little bit up. Heck, I'll give it to you. So you can get up, you poke your head up, and you kind of see, you see an opening of an area, and it seems to be like a room where there's like a stairwell that leads down and like a carpeting, so it almost seems like this is like the entryway to the second story of the building. So I opened up on the second side. You're actually like, your character would be over on the like the far right by where that carpet is you're like, that's the second story. So you're looking in through there. Yeah, like you're outside of there.
Oh, okay. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna lightly step into that space.
All right. So there is like an old glass pane there. You can attempt to try to open it if you would like.
I'm gonna take a look down over at Hendrix and be like, should I go in through here?
If you can keep it quiet, why not?
All right, I'm going to use my thieves' tools and see if I can crack it open.
All right, yeah, let's do it.
Oh God, why am I Why am I giving him the option to get this wrong? Okay. You know what? I don't have that as a... It says I got it as proficiency, but I don't have it as an option.
Yeah,
Would
do you
I
have
use a
another
sleight of hand?
dexterity-based... Yeah, any dexterity-based proficient thing. Although Did you take your expertise in it? If so, then
Yeah,
just
that's-
add the extra 2 points for your proficiency to it. It's fine. Like...
It's... Yeah, okay, fine. So that's going to come out with that +2 to 15 then.
15. All right. Yeah, it's not an overly complex window. You're able to kind of like work your tools in, and there's like a little latch that on the inside that you're able to kind of push up, and it shifts, and then you're able to kind of slide the window open, and it kind of gives off a little creak as you push it up, just from long years of it not ever being really opened. It's like... But then you can get it open up enough so like...
Yeah.
Because it's one of those half window things, so like the top part is fixed, the bottom part can slide up and down. You're able to push that up, so there's enough room that a humanoid could fit through. Any of you guys would be able to fit through.
All right. So I fit in. I get in. I put my hand out for Hendrix to come up if he wants to jump up and grab it.
I'll try and do a leap up, take 10 feet back, run up and jump.
I'm up, me. I can't lift you.
Oops.
Oh my god. What are you? That cake. Why did you eat that cake? Oh my god.
The cake rolls out. Haven't even
Oh
had
my-
it yet.
Oh, well, now I feel bad. Help.
Want me to roll anything, or do I climb in?
I'm fine. Like, you guys can all work together to climb in. I think that's perfectly acceptable. All right, so you guys now find yourself building here. You found yourself now on the second story of this house. There's a nice, well, what was once a nice carpet is it is covered with dust, and bits of it have been kind of like worn away over time, eaten by moths or rodents or whatever. So it is no longer nice and shiny.
Did everyone come up?
Oh, did everyone come up, or did just a few of you guys come up? Sorry.
If they want to, I'll lower a rope down. I'm sure I've got one in my explorer's pack.
I just had
I
this
was-
image of like Pio just like looking through a window going, okay, I'm going to be super stealthy. And then turns around and everyone is gone.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
fair enough.
So, yeah. That's what I was, yeah.
You're all like peering, trying to get it, like you're straining
Yeah.
to get up and get a good look. You're like, hey guys,
Yeah. So I look around. Do I see him?
I mean, eventually, yeah, you're perceptive enough. You'd see them climbing up.
Or like,
into the
do I
second
hear?
story.
Do I hear Alric climbing? Up to the
Yeah.
second-
For sure. You also also probably heard the window kind of creaking open.
As soon as I heard the window creaking open, I'm like, I look up. I'm like, they're all gonna die. And I just pretty much I just run up, jump on a few of the rocks or the side of the building where there's loose pebbles and whatnot, and just kind of pretty much scurry on up there.
Okay.
16 acrobatics.
Yeah. Like I said, you guys are able to kind of get yourselves up and in. As you guys kind of get settled in the hallway, you hear like a growling sound, and you spot at the corner of this structure a large, like, canine figure peeking around the corner, looking at you guys as you enter. What you
Where's
guys
the window
like
at? Is it right
yeah, it's right behind everybody where everyone's. So
Because
you guys
I'm
can kind of
behind
position
somebody.
yourselves in there. It's actually the spacing on this is probably a little off, but like, so it's probably like a 10-foot wide stairwell here. So we're on the second floor here. You guys spot this large canine creature kind of peeking around the corner, looking at you guys. What would we like to do?
Immediately, Pios parkours up, looks in the window, looks at what's going on, and said, "Yep, do it."
All right. Why doesn't everyone roll me initiative?
Oh, shit.
Sweet.
It's on.
It's on. We're not gonna waste any
Six.
more time.
16.
16. All right.
15.
7.
You hesitate.
Or
16. We got 7 for our face.
You little puppy.
Right?
7.
Who's a good puppy? Oh, shit.
Don't kill the puppy.
My prince, you have not shaved.
19 for me.
19. Okay, so you've got pale. Alright, what do we have for Cora and Hendrix?
I'm on 15.
15. And Cora? What is Cora's score?
14.
14. Okay. Peo, you are the first to actually spring into action and react.
Noting to myself that the party is going to die, I immediately move into action, pushing past everyone, running up to the front, seeing the giant dire wolf. I pull out the mystery meat food that they gave us from previous,
Yeah.
Okay.
piling it all together, smearing the glaze on it real quick, and kind of going, "Your puppy," and throwing it out to him.
Okay.
I am using my ability called Clever as the Gods.
Okay.
Starting at 3rd level, you are rarely outwitted on the field of battle. On your turn, you may use your bonus action to devise a clever plan to trick an enemy. Choose one creature that you can see. Make a charisma deception roll contested by the creature's wisdom insight. If you win the contest, you and your allies have advantage on attacks against that creature until the beginning of your next turn.
Nice. Yeah, so I added some of the classes from the Odyssey of the Dragon Lords, and that is one that Dave has chosen to utilize. So, cool.
Now, it all depends on our lovely, lovely friends at D&D Beyond to make this assessment.
So what are we rolling? Am I rolling against you? Or?
Yeah, let's see here. It said that, okay, so yeah, wisdom insight for you and charisma deception for me.
All right. Well, I was given advantage by Shadow Soldier.
Oh, awesome.
So let's see what that looks like. No, that would be a total of 8 is my high roll.
Ooh. I rolled a 17.
All right. Yep. So you guys will have advantage against this dire wolf. That's for how long did this last? For the next round?
Next
Full
round.
round.
Okay, for a full round.
Yeah, it said if you win the contest, you and your allies have advantage on attacks against that creature until the beginning of your next turn.
Cool.
So it's a full round since I'm first.
All right. And then,
And that was my bonus action.
yep.
Oh, damn.
As my action, I am going to. Do I see anything else? I don't see anything else, do I?
You don't as of yet. The dire wolf is the first thing to present itself, which
Is that stairs that go down though?
yeah, the
And
stairs
up,
go down to the next floor.
and then they go up again.
No, there's 2. It's like there's 2 that go down to a landing and then go down to a lower floor. So you're on the top. This is as high of the floor as it goes. So then they have.
But
2
what I'm saying is
Yeah.
where we're at, I can go down and the landing
over
and
and
go
then
back
up.
up.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So you
So I'm
can
gonna
make
do
it
that.
around. Yeah.
Yeah. How far can I move?
I mean, you're
Over right there.
a
'Cause
halfling, so it's
I'm a gnome.
or gnome, so 25 feet. So Alaric is next up.
So if I'm looking at this as a measurement, is this an accurate measure of 20 feet?
Probably not. These.
Okay.
I can't see your thing, but
If I were to, like, I'm just trying to figure out my maximum distance. I
yeah,
can
it
run.
sucks. I could have sworn that there was a grid on here, but I can't seem to see it now. It's about 10 feet wide from wall to the area. So there's a 5-foot passage in between. Where's my pointer? Between here and here, this is 5 feet here. So we've got 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 feet maybe from this.
You could use the measurement stick.
Well, yeah, but I don't think it's accurate because
Oh, it's not like that.
that's not 20 feet. It's 15 feet from you to the opening, and then 25 feet there.
So it's like if I want to run all the way down here.
That's 15 feet.
Okay. I'll do 15. I want to move 15 feet towards.
Okay. So you're probably somewhere right about
Right
here.
here. Okay, cool. Okay, from there I will, with advantage, throw a javelin at it.
Cool. Yep.
That is a 22 to hit.
Yeah, 22 will hit.
Sweet. Okay, awesome. Max damage. It's 9 damage. 9 piercing damage.
Sweet. All right. Perfect. Yeah, it kind of howls in pain as it struck. Cool. Anything else?
That is my action.
All right. Hendrix will be up, and then Cora directly after.
Okay, I guess I'm just going to try and get a little bit closer. I'm just going to run straight across, which I believe is, 15 to there? Going downstairs.
Yeah, 15 will get you to like the landing.
30
right
to
in
there.
front of. Yeah, 30 would get you to like right up top. Somewhere.
And then, not being in range, I'll just pull out one of my hand axes. And
Okay.
throw it at it.
Sounds good. Shug it.
Ooh, natural 1. But they're with advantage, right?
Advantage because of Pale.
And a 19.
All right, 19 will hit. Yeah.
6 damage.
6 damage. All right.
Remind me to pick that up later.
Perfect. Cora, you are up.
Do I have direct line of sight for my bow, or?
Yeah, I'd say you'd be able to see over. Like the railing is maybe like waist high for most humanoids, but this is a dire wolf, so it is large. It is bigger than most creatures would be. So yeah, you'd be able to see it. No problem.
Okay, so I pull
glowing.
an arrow and I shoot at the wolf.
Okay. Take a shot with
What do I
advantage.
roll?
Roll your d20. Take advantage, so you roll it twice, and then add your attack modifier for your bow. So it should be 2 plus whatever your dexterity modifier is. So if you have a 16,
Okay, my
that's a
first
plus
roll was a nat 20.
Then you're good. You hit, and you're gonna do double damage. So what type of bow is it? Yeah, roll damage. So you're gonna roll your damage dice twice, and add them together. So what type of weapon are you? Is it a longbow, a short bow, a crossbow?
It's a short bow.
Short bow. D6. So you're gonna roll 2d6, and then you're gonna add your dexterity bonus to that. So if it's a +3, you'll add that to the damage at the end.
4. Oops. So it keeps itself off the pole. A 2.
Okay, so 6.
And then add what?
6 plus whatever your dexterity modifier is. So if it's a +3, like if it's 16, it's a +3. If it's 14, it's +2. Whatever that is. 3.
+3.
Okay, so we were at 6, 4 plus 2, and then 3. So 4, 6, 9 points of damage. Good job. It is hurting. It is bloody already, and not looking super happy about life. That's for sure. As you guys are wailing on this poor defenseless beast that really, meant no harm whatsoever to anybody. Around the corner, shuffling past this creature, is pale-skinned, red-eyed, dark-haired female figure with like the clothes kind of tattered and almost like torn off of her, like sharp fangs and claws, and going to come turning around and is going to lunge at Alaric here. Although you held an action, right?
Me?
Alaric? Oh no, you threw.
No, I used my action. I threw my javelin. Yeah,
Hi.
he
No,
held
I
his
held-
action. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll get to you later. It's gonna come around and is going to slash at you with her claws. 16 to hit.
No hit.
And the other one, so she'll
Ting!
swipe at you with her claws and like lean in for a bite, and both you're able to kind of fend off as this creature kind of like comes in at you, angry and looking very hungry. Minnie, you would be up next.
Minnie's going to coolly, calmly take his short bow down and knock an arrow aiming at the giant wolf, and will let fly a single arrow.
Yep.
That's with
Advantage. So.
advantage. So that first one is a 13, and that second one is an 11. because he sucks. Does 13 hit?
Sadly, no, it just misses.
Then as the bonus action, I'm going to use my fast hands, which allows me to make a sleight of hand check or use my thieves tool to disarm a trap, or take the use an object action. So I'm going to use an object. I'm going to take my scroll tube, which is at my side, which contains some ball bearings, and I'm going to uncap that and chuck it over towards where the wolf is, aiming to land it just in between it and the creature that has appeared and is attacking Ulrich. So in this little space here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Roll a dexterity attack roll or something just to see.
A sleight of hand? Yeah.
Yeah.
Something like that, right?
Yeah.
Sure. Okay.
Just to see like how close you
How
get.
accurate as my throw is? Sure. That's a 21. That's a 21.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, that'll do. For sure. This area in here is got ball bearings covering it.
Yeah, please.
So a clattering, smattering of all these bearings, like striking the ground and rolling out over the ground over here, kind of covering that. The big wolf snarls and sees its master engaging one, decides it's time to go and work on the others. So it's going to make its way around towards Hendrix over here, snarling and snapping, but it is bleeding and bloody and does not look overly great. It's going to bite down at you. 15 to hit.
Do I held my action. Do I get?
Are you in range?
Yeah, with my dagger.
Okay, then you can attack. I can't hear you, you're muted, but did 15 hit?
16 is my armor class. So
Okay.
it misses.
Man, I'm
Can I
rolling my
use-
kill. Alright,
Can I use my
Oh my
reaction
God.
to repulse its attack?
Nice.
of course.
Oh my god!
What's that?
Hell yeah.
Did you
I just
crit?
rolled a nat 20
All
on
right.
my dagger.
Alright.
And since he's in contact, do I get my sneak attack?
Well, you would anyways, because you're getting advantage on it from...
Mhm.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, so roll that beautiful damage. If you
Okay,
wanted
so how
to
do I-
wait on your superiority die till
Yeah, I
that
will.
resolves, because I don't want you to waste it. This might kill it. It's
Okay. So
it's
okay. So, oh, it already figured it in for me. Okay. So that gets okay. So that's 8 plus. I roll my sneak attack twice, right?
yeah.
Oh yeah, it already. Well, yeah. No. Okay. So 8 plus 10 plus. Yeah, 22 points damage.
All right. You throw this knife and tell me how it looks as you kill this direwolf.
Yeah, as this direwolf comes around, and I'm still shaking my head, and die, I can't die. And I pull out the dagger, and I throw it, and it whirls almost in a spiral, passing just by the cusp. You can hear it whiz by your ear, Hendrix, as it plunges right between the eyes of this direwolf. The direwolf kind of shakes and just collapses right in front of your face.
It only counts as one.
All right, perfect. Yeah, the direwolf kind of slumps to the ground, kind of obstructing that passageway just a little bit, but either way, it's no longer a threat to you guys. That was the doggy's poor turn. Peo, it's back to you.
I quickly maneuver myself, and I can make it to the direwolf, right?
Yeah.
I pull out the dagger. I turn to the thing that is attacking Ulrich, and I proceed to aim and throw my dagger again.
All right. Cool.
That I don't have disadvantage on, right?
No, you would get sneak attack because it is in.
And yeah, together.
Base to base.
Yeah. 24.
That will hit. Doggone it.
6 plus 6 and 9.
15.
Do the math.
15 points of damage. All right. It strikes in and kind of like punctures its shoulder, and it snarls and growls at you. Doesn't quite seem to be as effective as you'd like, but still 15 points is a decent number to deal damage here. We're going to have Alaric followed by Hendrix. Unless you had something else you're going to do with your bonus action.
I can dash as a bonus action. So I guess I'll dash. So how far can I move with another movement? Can I move like maybe right here?
Yeah, that's fine. That's about perfect. The wolf slows you down a little bit, but you're able to kind of squeak by and get.
I just want to get in a position where I have my shield and sword ready.
Yeah.
So
perfect. Yeah. Able to do that, Alaric.
Okay. As I see this creature in front of me, as I guess they try to claw and bite me, I want to like reach my empty hand while I'm holding the other shield and basically just like throw my hand, try to reach for its throat, and cast Guiding Bolt.
Nice.
Oh yeah, 22.
Oh yeah, that'll do. That will do.
That is going to be radiant damage. 18 radiant damage.
All right, perfect. Yeah, it screeches in pain as it takes a huge chunk of radiant damage. Perfect. All right. Anything else you'd like to do?
Spit in its face.
It growls as you spit holy water in its face. No.
Yeah, right.
You bless it as it comes out. Hendrix, you're up, followed by Cora.
Okay. Can I pull out my hand axe from the wolf?
Yeah, no problem.
I'll run back over here 30 feet to get a better angle on this person here, and I'll throw my hand axe at it. But I want to add a superiority dice and try and do a pushing attack to push it back 15 feet.
Cool. Yeah, sounds good.
So let me see if I actually hit it first. 14 to hit.
14 will just miss.
Okay. Oof. Hand axe go past. End of my turn.
All right. Hand axe like sticks in the wall behind him as it's still focusing on Alaric. Cora is up.
Okay, so again, am I in line of sight for my bow?
Yeah, I'd say you'd be able to see it.
Okay, cool. So I knock another arrow and I fire at the creature.
Okay. Let loose.
My first roll is a 12.
No. Yeah,
Do I roll a...
there's nothing giving advantage right now, sadly.
All right.
Yep, your roguish trickster has not done anything to grant advantage yet on this one. Cool. All right. Okay, it goes next. So it is going to... It kind of runs up the wall and onto the other side of Alaric and attempts to attack him again. It's going to take one swipe at you with its claw, and then it will attempt to bite you. So that's a 22 to hit with his claw for 9 points of slashing damage, and then it is...
Oh, did it attack me?
Yeah.
Okay. What did it roll to hit?
22.
Oh, damn. Okay, so I took how much damage?
9 points of slashing damage.
Okay.
And then it's actually going to try to swipe at you again, but a 14 will not get through your defenses. So it ran up the wall, and as it came down slash. One of them slashed through. You weren't quite expecting the shift of elevation and the way it like ran up the wall and came down on the other side of you. But you're able to spin and deflect its second attack, discouraging it from striking in more there. Yeah, it's going to be happy right there for now. It doesn't want to... It likes keeping you in between it and the other creature that came up the wall. There, Minnie, you will be up next, though.
I see this woman do this crazy parkour around my guy, and she's now uncomfortably close to me. Don't like that. Gonna fire off another arrow at her. It's a natural 1. However, as a halfling, I'm gonna re-roll that.
Lucky. That's right.
Oh my god. So instead of 6, I get 10 to hit. So I only miss by a little bit less. At least the short bow doesn't break in my hands.
There you go. There's a bright side to everything.
And I'm going to move, I think, away from her just a wee bit.
Just a wee bit?
Be like, that's no good. Just going to head over here real quick towards the dead wolf, looking at it. And as I go past, I'll be like, he is dead, right? That's my turn.
All right. That was Minnie. So it should be back to Peo, followed by Alaric.
So, Peos, is this okay? Question: is this like a ridge along the staircase?
Yeah, it's like like a banister to keep people from falling off. So it's about waist high or so, and well, maybe a little bit higher for you, but yeah, about 3 feet up.
So Peos is going to jump on top of it.
Okay.
And attempt to run across it.
Okay. Give me acrobatics or whatever to see how well you are able to maintain balance on this.
Plank on the railing.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's so bad.
Here we go.
Yeah, right.
On
D-O-G-P-O.
11.
All right. Roll me a dice. Tell me whether it's odds or even.
Okay. Just any dice?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Just odds or even.
Uh-oh.
Odds.
All right. You fall down here on the stairs. You are going to take
No Slut Cooper today.
6 points of bludgeoning damage, as I rolled max damage on a fall.
Yep. Always.
As you land on these stairs, hitting the ground rough and sore, as you just, like, you were making your way on, but just lost a little bit of a footing. I had 12 as the DC on that one. So odds you were going to fall that way, evens you were going to fall this way, so I'm sorry.
That's all right. That's all right. I tried it.
I loved the idea. It was cool.
Yeah.
Super cool. So you fell, you're now prone, but you still could... You probably could stand up again, but then you're down here and you still have your action and bonus action.
Okay, so I'm gonna stand up, real quick to look around, real quick, see if I see any other enemies.
Yeah. So on the bottom floor, I forgot.
Oh, God.
Now you
Oh,
can see
shit.
things. Luckily, on the bottom floor, you kind of see a hallway, and it doesn't seem like anything has reacted to your fall. It seems to be fairly open and innocuous at this point.
Yeah.
for
Okay.
The rest of the
So,
stream.
so for my bonus action, I'm moving 25 feet, and then for my action, I would like to move another 25 feet if that is possible.
Okay. Yeah. Those are all rogue things you can do. So, yeah.
So how far do I get?
Which way are you trying to get? Like, where's your general destination?
Where I initially wanted to be. Well, actually, I'm gonna be like right, or can I get as close to her as possible on this side?
Yeah, you can get right there. Actually, that's exactly like right here. So should be about 5 feet in between the two of you so far.
Okay,
but you can get
okay,
to right
that's
there.
good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, as long as there's at least a gap. So
Yep.
So I won't move. Yeah,
A wee gap.
Yeah.
All right, perfect. So they've maneuvered around, and poor Savannah can't see all this. So there's like the stairwells are coming down. There's a little like gap in between the stairwells. So they come up, and then there's a walkway that goes around it. Right now you're in the corner, kind of by the window. There's a vampiric-looking creature that has been attacking Alaric, and now Peos, who fell down, landed on the stairs, shook himself off, and then scurried around on the outside like really quickly, is about 5 feet. Well, there's 5 feet in between him and this vampiric creature there. With you have friends on the stairwell down below, kind of avoiding direct conflict.
You'll actually hear Pius as he runs by each of his team members. You'll hear him say, "I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine."
Alaric, you are up next.
All right, I'm gonna reach over and rip out the hand axe off the wall that Hendrix threw,
Nice.
and then I'm gonna attack the vampiric creature with it.
I love this.
Delete.
All right.
Using someone else's weapons. So rude.
That's so
So
awesome.
rude.
So awesome. Man. It's like, this is how you do it.
Sweet, dirty 20.
All right, yeah, that'll hit.
And then as a bonus action, I'm gonna divine smite.
Yeah.
All right, let me get the first damage in. Okay, that's 5 piercing.
Okay.
Then I think it's 2d8. Yeah, 2d8 radiant damage.
The extra if it's undead.
Yeah.
And on
yeah.
top of that,
That's true. It is indeed undead.
Yeah.
So if you do extra for that, you do extra.
Oh yeah, that's 15 radiant damage.
Yeah, it's not happy about that. It shrieks from this radiance that blasts it and hinders its abilities and hurts it.
Okay, as my bonus action, I want to use my Channel Divinity for Inspiring Smite. What that does is, since after I use my Divine Smite feature, as a bonus action, I can distribute temporary hit points to creatures of my choice within 30 feet of me.
Okay.
So it's 2d8 plus 3. Who's all within 30 feet of me?
I think pretty much everyone.
Okay, perfect. Everyone gains 14 temporary hit points.
Nice.
Ooh, Lord.
Very nice. Handle it.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. All right. Anything else?
That's it.
All right.
So it's divided. I'm sorry, I have to divide it up.
Oh,
it's not
divided.
giving everybody. That'd be broken. I just realized that.
Yeah, I was like, wow, that's
It's
crazy.
like, that's a lot.
That level.
Third level. Okay. Let's see.
And then while he's working on that, we got Hendrix is
I'll
up
do the math.
with Cora following after that. So just
Okay.
decide who you want to give what.
Right.
Seeing this just happen, I'm just gonna go reach into my my coat, pull out my other hand axe, and go, I can do this. And I'll try again. And I'll attempt to chuck another hand axe
Do it.
for a natural 20.
There you go. There you go. All right.
Damage wasn't too high though, a 3 and a 2, so 5 total. But I
right.
will try and do a tripping attack on it, so he's now not prone.
Okay, everyone else gains 3 temporary hit points.
Cool.
Nice.
I'm just
I did
looking
myself
up the
too.
tripping attack. When you hit with a weapon attack, you can expend one of my dice that I can't say.
Yeah.
Add total to the damage roll. Creature must make a strength saving throw, DC 13, or fall prone.
Rolled 13 exactly. So, does it deal extra damage though, or?
Yes, a D8. I'm just about to roll it.
Cool. Yeah. So it's able to maintain its balance, but it does dig deep into its thigh. And...
Extra 7.
All right. Hey, every little bit, whittling it down. It's see gashes of this kind of dark blood oozing out of all these wounds that is starting to accumulate. Anywhere you'd like to move or maneuver?
I'll just move around here. Giving a more.
So Hendrix is kind of run past you, Cora. You're still up by the entryway, the window. There's to your right. There's stairs that kind of lead down. Then we'll end up leading back up again by where the dead direwolf is. Hendrix is about 10 feet ahead of you. And then Peos is about 10 feet in front of him. And then there's a vampiric creature that is currently facing off against Alaric.
Can I still fire my bow?
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna fire it again, and I rolled an 18.
That'll do. Yeah, there we go.
And now I roll my d6
Yep.
at 5.
Okay, and you're +3, I think we said. So it's 8.
Yes.
Cool. Yeah, so the arrow sticks in to it, and it snarls and kind of glances back at you. Kind of very upset that it seems to be that its meal time has been interrupted by you guys. It's going to first attempt with its claw to strike Alaric. That's a bad roll. Of course, it's going to... Boy, you guys, on these rolls, you're lucky. So it takes 2 more slash marks at Alaric. Seeing all these individuals kind of rounding and coming closer to it, it is going to go run up against the wall again and kind of standing sideways on the wall on the other side of Alaric, putting Alaric between it and the rest of this group. But it is certainly looking worse for wear, as it is Minnie's turn now.
So to be clear, this creature is now up a wall and is facing off that wall at an sideways.
It's sideways on the wall.
So its head is right there at line of sight for me, even though I'm on the landing.
Yeah.
I'm going to take a shot with my arrow.
Do it.
Because I mean, it's such an obvious shot. There's no way that I could possibly miss. that should do it.
It is a tricksy one, but
It's a fucking troll. Okay, I fire up another arrow, which misses yet again,
Oh,
and I look at my bow like, this isn't my bow. What the hell? And I'm gonna run around the other side, past the wolf. Can I get How far can I get from where I was? Could I get all the way round to here, potentially?
No, you probably just have about 5 more feet from the other side of the wolf there. Cause,
Okay, so about there then.
yeah, somewhere
Yeah.
about there, yeah.
Okay, so as I am now on that diagonal spot there, with my bonus action, I'm going to call out, hoping that she can hear me. I mean, she's like 10 yards away. I go, looks like your king sold you out. Want to change sides? Not looking for an actual, success on that, but enough to make her go, what the, just to look around my way, if you will.
Yeah, it kind of growls and glances in your direction. You see the like bright red beady eyes kind of like looking almost unnaturally backwards at you, like his neck turns just a little further than normal.
I'm gonna put my short bow behind me and I'm gonna pull out my rapier and dagger at this point.
Nice.
Okay.
Let's do it. Peo. You hear other dire wolves in the distance barking.
Thanks to himself as he hears the dire wolves outside, pets his magic special rock geared for the Goliath, at least he thinks it's magic, and proceeds to wail on her with his short sword that he has pulled out.
All right, can you reach past Alaric to do that? It ran to the other side of it.
I did. Well, I thought she was still on the wall though.
But on the other side of him.
Oh shit. Can I move within other people's spaces?
Yeah, you're small,
Yeah.
aren't you?
I'm small. Is that...
Yeah, you can since you're small.
Okay, so
I'm
You can just
cool with
slide
it.
under her.
I'm cool with it. I'm just.
I figured I'm like right there.
Slide under.
I'm poking upward.
There you go. Yeah, I mean, you could move
My
like
shield above my head.
Yeah.
right
So
beneath
I rolled
her.
I rolled a 16. So.
All right, yeah, 16 will hit.
Honey badger slide.
Honey badger.
Honey badger, don't give no.
Yep, exactly. So I rolled an 8 plus sneak attack, 17 total.
17 damage.
Yeah.
Good lord. Yeah, that's a good one. Even though as it strikes, like you notice, as many of the other strikes haven't done as much damage as you would have liked them to. 17 still is a huge, like it still digs deep, and this thing like just snarls in pain and agony as your party is quickly making good work of this vampire to be. Alaric.
Okay, I'm gonna attempt to grapple it
All right. Love it.
with an athletics check.
All right.
Natural 20.
Yep, that'll do. It rolled well too, but not that well.
Oh yeah. So basically, is it still standing on the wall?
Yeah.
So it's like I just want to like grab it and just like throw it down on the floor with me and just like grapple it and hold it tight.
You okay? So it's down here on the floor.
Yep.
Cool. Sounds good. So Hendrix is up, followed by Cora. Now the vampire spawn is on the ground, being held down by Alaric. It will make shots very difficult for people at range, but those who can get closer, this will be a good thing.
Okay, seeing this all happen, I will run around the corner, drawing sword at the same time, getting close enough, hopefully, to start stabbing.
Yeah, I think you can get there. No problem.
Fantastic. What am I doing? Attack. Rapier. Yeah. 11. Is it with advantage?
Advantage,
Being
yeah.
on the ground?
Yeah,
it
because they have it.
is grappled on the ground, is prone on the ground, so.
7.
Oh, buddy. Oh, poor guy.
I'm like, haha! Where's my hand axe?
Yeah.
And that'll be the end of my turn.
All right. Cora is up. There's a group gathered around this creature. You won't really be able to get a good shot. If you try to use ranged means, you're going to be needing to use disadvantage on that. Do you have any spells or anything you'd like to use? Or?
Not offhand. Can I get close enough to use a dagger, or?
Yeah, you're small enough. I'd say you could kind of like run over next to Hendrix there and try to stab it.
Okay. I will go ahead and try that. I rolled a 7.
Man, no.
She gets advantage.
Oh yeah, roll twice. It is on the ground, so and prone.
15.
15? Just what you needed. All right.
Yeah.
There you go. 15 hits. Roll damage. Dagger's a D4 plus your dexterity, so D4 plus 3.
4.
4 total, or 4 on the dice plus 3?
4 total.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
Still,
total 1.
it helps. It helps. It kicks it closer to the final position. It is its turn, and you see some of the wounds start to slowly stitch itself back together. As it did not take radiant damage this turn. But it is going to attempt to attack the one grappling it, sadly. 17, Alaric?
Nope. Would it be a disadvantage if it's prone?
You could do it at
It's
disadvantage.
grappled, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. Yeah, because
think
when
it's
it's prone, it is. Yeah. All right, so that will be a fail on that attack then. Because, of course, I roll well.
I think the
but then-
disadvantage comes from the grapple rather
Yeah.
than from the
Oh yeah.
prone.
Either way,
Too.
the second time I'll get an 18 with disadvantage to actually hit. It is going to grapple you in turn and start walking up the side of the wall, holding you like in the air as it's walking up.
Oh, we're doing this. Okay,
Yeah.
we're doing
Yeah.
this.
So you guys are now about 10 feet up on the wall as you're both holding each other. It doesn't
Do we
deal
all
any
get-
damage, but it just
Do we all get tax of opportunity as it
go
walks
for
away?
it. Go for it.
Yeah, tax opportunity. Exactly.
Everyone but Alaric. Oh, I guess
I don't
not
get
many, because you're up.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone else.
Yeah.
Roll your melee
That's
weapon.
fucking hilarious.
And I
23
look at my
to hit.
rapier going,
They'll do it.
literally, but I can't even attack you. What?
Like you see the Vampire just looks up like, oh, I can just walk up.
Yeah, it's like. So
That's
23 will
9
hit.
damage.
9 damage. All right. Yeah, that's a good chunk. Cora's attack. What do we get?
Then 4 damage.
4 damage. All right.
Yeah.
Do
Chaos.
we have a opportunity attack on advantage?
You
Advantage
just
on
get.
oppor-
I think in this case it's going to be a straight up roll because it is
Okay.
interspersed with Alaric. I don't think it would be necessarily
Yeah,
much
no.
one way or the other.
I'll just
Big
roll
attack
10.
damage though.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I rolled a 10.
Okay.
So
All right. So now it's got Alaric, and Alaric's got it, and you're like about 10 feet up on the wall, like near the.
Oh,
It was
boy.
just I had to do it. Minnesota. Because it says like if I hit with the attack, I can either deal damage or I can grapple. I was like,
right.
this is gonna be an automatic grapple, and then he's gonna use it. She's gonna use it to walk up the wall with you.
Okay. Minnie's like,
Poor guy. Yeah, I know.
He takes the dagger and he chucks it at her
Okay,
because that's something you can do in this situation.
for sure.
I don't see it failing at all, you guys. This is gonna be it. This is gonna be amazing. 15!
There you
There you
go.
go.
There you go. You hit
Yes.
That hits
with sneak attack. By the way.
with sneak attack.
Mhm.
That's right. So that is 6 points of damage plus the sneak attack, which is now not showing as an action. Come on. Where'd you go? There you are. Plus another 4, so it's 10 points of damage.
Okay.
And then as a bonus action, he's going to take his bag of caltrops and chuck it at her. Just to stick in her and to aim on the side of the wall as well, hoping that the caltrops themselves stick into the wall. Because he's like, look, if you're going to run up a wall, I'm going to try and stop you running up a wall.
All right. Sounds good. All right.
You want a sleight of hand check on that?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Sure. Why not? Why not?
No.
That's a glorious 8.
All right.
I think I've just thrown caltrops all over my friends.
Yeah, you guys hear this clanging, ringing sound as now the ground directly underneath Alaric and this creature is now covered with caltrops.
I shout up, beware, the ceiling's falling in.
So
I
this
put
area
up my
here,
shield over my head as they rain down.
full of caltrops. Oh,
That's my turn.
so good, so good. Peo, as this raining caltrops next to you, the ground next
Shake
to you is
my
all covered. What would you like to do?
10 feet, huh?
Yep, 10 feet up.
And you said the banister is 3 feet.
Yeah,
So that would put her at 7 feet.
plus your,
I am.
another 2.5 feet at least till your arm, and then your reach. And if you want to
So
try, you can make a
Yeah.
acrobatics check and see if you can jump up and attack it.
I'm doing it.
Also, the chance you fall
'Cause
off.
I'm looking at this
I love it.
pitfall of insanity on the floor.
Right.
Caltrops on one side of me
Ball
and
bearings.
marbles on the other side. I didn't do so bad on the freaking banister, so
Let's see.
probably not 11. God darn it!
It's just it's tough to do all those things at once. So roll me again. Odds are even. I don't know which one's worse.
Got so much stuff to pick up.
I rolled the exact same thing I rolled last time.
All right.
11 and a 5.
Well, on one hand,
Thank
you're
you,
not
beyond.
surrounded by
Yeah,
caltrops
that's
or that, but you are gonna take
probably max damage.
3
Here,
points of
here it is.
damage. 3 points.
Okay.
Of
So
fall.
good news is that gets rid of my temporary hit points.
There you go. There you go. And you still have your action and bonus action, so you can still run around if you want,
Yeah.
or pull out something and shoot at it.
I don't have any. The dagger's still stuck in her, unless if that fell out for some mysterious reason.
Yeah. Not really.
Yeah, she's undead, so why would it, fall out? So, yeah, I am just going to run back up. And how far does these caltrops go?
I mean, it's
It's
just
like-
basically right beneath that area, like just
Okay.
that ground, like that 5-foot square underneath.
I think I'm gonna play it safe and go.
Why
this
start
way
now?
this time. And just hang out.
All right. You see down this hallway, there is a doorway off to the left, and the hallway like turns around like there's a room, and there's another hallway down there. I'm gonna.
And nothing's
drop
come
those
out
in,
of them. Nothing's come out.
Nothing's
of
come
them.
out yet. Alaric, you're up.
Okay, I'm not breaking grapple. What I want to do is I want to use athletics checks to push it back down to the floor.
All right, let's do it.
All right, let's do this.
Do it.
Oh boy.
It's not the worst roll in the world.
Okay, 13.
I rolled a 17 total.
Damn. Okay,
So-
so we're not moving.
No. Maintain position. It just kind of like snarls at you.
All right.
All right. B. Hendrix then is up, followed by Cora.
Okay, similarly, not having any more hand axes around, I'm going to take 10 feet back and do a running jump and try and swing it at its ankles.
All right,
As I
do
try-
it. Do it.
For an 18.
That'll do. That'll it.
And I'll chuck in a dice and try and do a trip on it.
I love it. I love it.
So that's 9 on that.
Oh, nat one. Nat one it. It
Yes.
falls. I also added an extra D4 as it slams into the caltrops. Actually, it's 10 feet up, so do your damage, plus a D4, plus a D6 for the fall damage.
Okay,
let you
so
roll
I'll
it.
just go back to D&D. Beyond.
What I'm hearing is that Minnie did D10 damage right there. No big deal, you guys.
Right? Plus my weight.
Yeah.
So is it a D4?
D4
Plus.
for the caltrops, and then a D6 for the fall damage, and then whatever your sword does.
So it's 10 plus 4 plus 3, so 17.
17 points of damage. It is now laying on the ground, bleeding out of everywhere, like caltrop sticking in its back, barely holding on to whatever foul thing keeps it alive. And you would, be on the other side, and unless you have something else you can manage to do, it would be
That's
Cora's turn.
I just turn and face.
So you'll have, right now, there's the vampire spawn is on the ground, bleeding, beaten, almost dead. Alaric on top of it, and you would have advantage because it is prone, grappled by Alaric.
Okay. So I'm gonna try and go after it with my dagger again.
Sounds good.
Okay, my first roll is a 6, and the second roll is an 8.
They'll both miss, sadly. All right, let's see.
Better with the bow.
It gets one more chance. It is not happy at this whole situation. but it also knows that it's not going to get free easily. So let's see what we roll here. Oh. So it's going to grab Alaric and kind of run up the wall just a little bit. It's not going to move out of opportunity attack. And then it's going to throw Alaric backwards over its shoulder and off of it to at least free itself from Alaric. I rolled a nat 20 on my athletics.
Damn!
So that was a total of 26.
You hear
Wow.
you hear off in the distance. The fall's not that bad.
Well, do I get to roll against that, though?
Yeah, feel free. Yeah.
Let's see if I'm rolling that 20.
Yeah.
Which I doubt. Nope. Not even close.
All right.
Damn.
So
Okay.
it throws you back, like up and back, and you're going to take 6 points of damage as you fall on the ground.
Okay.
Does he fall on the caltrops?
No, he actually throws him over onto the stairs
Okay.
below. Then it's going to turn towards Hendrix and angrily slash at it with its claws. That would be a 25 to hit. It's going to go out.
If that hits,
Go out with a bang here. That would be 10 points of slashing damage.
Okay.
And that's its turn. Minnie, you're up. It is not
Can I-
super high now. It's,
Okay, can I reach it from where I am?
Sure, there is caltrops, or not caltrops, but
Ball bearings.
ball bearings between you guys. So
Yeah.
I think that's either a dexterity check or saving throw to make sure you don't fall, or the banister dexterity acrobatics to see if you.
I mean, if I'm gonna fail, let's go. You know what I mean?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. So the theory is Minnie takes a look at the banister and thinks, I'm going to run along that banister, jump off it, spin around in the air, and then with my rapier at high point, slice through this bad bitch's neck with one clean slate. It was definitely going to work, you guys.
Let's do it.
So dexterity saving throw?
Yeah, that works. Or acrobatics to see if you're using the banister, whichever
That's
one.
a 23
Yeah.
on the dexterity save
Oh,
as
yeah.
I run nimbly along the banister.
Perfect.
And I pull out my rapier, and that's a natural 1. I'm going to use my natural luck again.
Oh, please roll something
that-
good.
I don't want to be stabbed.
That's 18.
18 will do.
All right.
Roll
So
some
that's
damage.
with a sneak attack on that as well.
Oh
right?
yeah, this should do it.
So that's 9 plus 6. It's 15 points of damage. As I come
Yeah.
bounding along, I go, God, if you need something done, jump off the banister and slice around right down onto the neck.
Nice. Yeah, you chop into it, and just like what little blood is left in this vampiric creature just starts like oozing out, and the life slowly drains out of her red eyes and falls to the ground next to Hendrix here.
As I go and I try and land for a 3-point hero landing,
Yeah.
I land head first into one of the caltrops and I bounce up. Ouch, 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 ouch.
Perfect. Nice. And at that, the house stands quiet and still. You guys have managed to defeat the other creature.
And no prince.
However, if you guys explore further, you guys will find down the hallway there is another doorway, of which you will open and discover within, tied to a bed, would be a human figure in like Leitong sort of garb sort of thing. And you would figure this more than likely is the prince, who is a bit battered, but he is like kind of like tied up onto the bed and is currently kind of like passed out, as he does look like he's been battered, but he is still alive.
Definitely go over, cut his bindings with my sword.
Perfect. Yeah. You guys are able to gather him. He eventually will start to kind of like slowly wake up as you guys start shifting or, untying him and moving him about. What? Wow. What? I was not expecting to see. Fellow countrymen.
Let us get you home, my prince.
Please. Thank you. And you're able to lead him out and exit this area. You're able to make your way back, and assuming you're exiting the normal pathway, you'll see the sergeant is still kind of mounted with the wolf waiting down kind of near the entryway. As you make it down that far, you also spot there is a carriage there with 4 skeletal horses, like, tied up to them, strapped up. Well, looks like you were successful. Excellent. Well, if you
The
guys...
car? For us? Or is there
Yes.
somebody inside it?
No, it is for you and your prince. Figured after an ordeal, you guys had earned a little bit of respite. If you are ready, it will take you back to your ship, and you may depart.
Do you want to come with us?
He smirks. Maybe someday I'll come for a visit, but no, this is my home for now.
I'm just saying, a sergeant's salary is not as good as a captain's.
Something tells me that none of your lodges would be really very interested in bringing a member of the Crimson into your fold. But I'll keep it in mind. Maybe I'll pay you a visit.
I'm going to throw one word out to you, and I want you to really think about it. Military intelligence. And I know there's 2 words, but they count as one.
You see Hendrix in the background, right?
Nods. Well, thank you. Perhaps if you ever visit again, and he'll reach down and hand you a scroll, Minnie. You might want to know the terrain better.
Take that from him, and I go, I might at that. And I leave him my signet ring.
He like slides it into the pouch that he had that you saw him pulling the black stick out of, and nods. Well, climb aboard. I'll guide the horses back. And he'll shift off of the wolf and climb upon the front of the carriage and grab the reins.
Shall we go, guys?
Lead us out, Hendrix.
Once you guys are aboard the carriage, it is a little snug with 6 of you in there, but several of you are tiny. Probably everyone happy to take the moment to rest and relax as the carriage plods along past the castle and makes its way to the docks, where waiting there is the ship that you guys arrived on. The crew looking kind of anxiously and surprised as they see the carriage plod up, and the prince will kind of scurry out the minute it stops and make for the ship and climb aboard, just eager to be out of this place.
As we're boarding, do I see the Goliath?
He's standing around nearby somewhere, close enough.
As I'm walking up, I pull out the stone and just kind of casually tossing it, looking at him. One day, big man, one day. And then I walk onto the ship.
As I go past the Goliath, I go, did you see the food we left you? The pork, you should try it.
I'm a vegetarian, but thank you.
I visibly like, damn.
My dwarf friend, though, is not very happy right now.
Woohoo! I mean, oh no. Oh no.
It was worth 5 gold. I'll be laughing about that for a while.
We will too.
Farewell. And as you guys board, the gangplank is pulled back aboard ship, and your ship will eagerly and quickly exit and depart. You guys have a safe journey back home, and you return successful in your endeavors. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining me. We do appreciate you guys joining us. Look forward to seeing all of these wonderful players in more games. Please check us out on our YouTube and Twitch. And tonight, in just a few hours, Dave's going to be running our Vagrant Vigilantes on our Twitch channel, and followed by YouTube release probably a week or so later. So thank you all for joining us, and have a good night.
Peace out,
Bye,
guys.
everyone. Deuces.